There we go. I see it.
Hi, I'm Eagle. Eagle Gardens, Eagle Gardens 1, and this is fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 19, featuring Tanasi Gardens. This is a fucking pleasure for me. I have been a fan of this guy for quite some time now. He's been a long time weed nerd, and I'm not afraid to say he jumped over me in that tester circle a little bit. Of course, you can find him everywhere. His awesome Instagram, Embracing Organics. You can find him on the Dude Grow Show. And here, of course, tonight. This is fucking amazing. I can't wait to get to talking with him. Tanasi's Gardens. How you doing tonight?
Thank you, man. Man, much love, dude. I'm glad to be here, dude. This is great, bro. And man, following me, dude, I've been following you just as long, I believe, dude, with the weed nerd scene and stuff, being a tester and all. But yeah, man, this is fun shit, dude. I'm glad to be out here and spread the word on some psychedelics, dude. I got a little mushroom grow kit company I've started up out here in Denver. And actually,
Oh,
I was gonna say earlier, we'll probably say this a couple of times. Probably, I was trying to pull up the chat here for a second. Following you just as long ago. Bam. See, I knew I was going to have to pause that. So I want to see everybody in chat as well. But I got a coupon code for the Sacred 3 Mushroom Grow Kits. Have you seen those yet? Have we talked about those?
I have seen them, but let's talk about them. Let's get that out there.
Right on. So everybody's into growing their own mushrooms and whatnot. So I got Sacred 3 mushrooms. I'll paste the link in here. And we got grow kits that you have to supply your own spores. You'll grow anything you want. You got some gourmets, oysters, whatever not. I got a list of spores on the website there. I dropped the link there. And you can buy any type of spores you want and then use it with the kits and then grow your own mushrooms from home. And I'm putting up how-to videos and stuff on YouTube. And I got an Instagram as well that goes along with that. And I'm going to put a coupon code in for Eagle, and you get 10% off your order.
Oh, nice.
And that will stay up there forever, man. So you can use that for this company as well.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I like saving people money. And if I can help out as a great person like yourself, I'm happy to plug it, brother. Happy to plug it.
Yeah, man.
So let's tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you coming from? Where are you from?
So I grew up in Tennessee, southeast Tennessee, in the base of the Appalachians. And, just running through the rivers and the trails of the Appalachians and whitewater rafting and stuff. And that's just how I grew up. Then I kind of ran away to the military, man. I went and served 3.5 years in the 82nd Airborne, did my one tour of Iraq, and then kind of got in trouble when I came back and then found out PTSD and whatnot, dude. That's kind of why I've moved into the psychedelic realm and marijuana and stuff, because I've seen the benefits of how it can help me and my army buddies just doing it. And long story short, though, I went to prison pretty much 60 day or a year after being back from Iraq, and fucking spent a year in federal prison. And I got out, and I kind of just I was at a bad time, bro. Went back to Tennessee and shit. Didn't have really fucking anything, and just got lucky. My uncle says, "Hey man, come down to this fab shop. Going to do some welding." So I learned how to weld and stuff. Then we are welding on combustors for the oil fields and whatnot. Got that job led me into getting working in the oil fields in North Dakota, and then the oil fields in Colorado eventually after that. So that kind of just moved me down here. When I moved to Colorado for oil, I didn't even know weed was legal, bro. That's how far out of the scene I was of all that. So, and then being in Colorado and Denver, seeing the weed scene explode, I kind of just embraced it, and that's my path I've chose, because I saw how the dabs with the marijuana helped me and helped my friends. And then now with the psychedelic realms coming aboard and other plant medicines, those are there's something about the plant medicines, man, to help people's psyches and whatnot. So
I
yeah.
agree. I agree. For some reason, out of that list of stuff, man, the military, for some reason, just doesn't seem like a fit for you. You seem like a free spirit. It seems like you'd be a tough one to tame in a military setting.
I was
How was that for you?
I was nice, man. I enjoyed it. I was the hippie of the troop for sure. But I don't know, I was angry as well, man. I just didn't like being at the place I was growing up. I knew there was something better for me. So I kind of just took off the 82nd or the military as like that's the fastest way to get out. You know, especially when you got girlfriends breaking up. It's like, man, I want to leave so bad. You get angry. But
Small
82nd was nice, man. I
small
learned a
towns
lot.
can be
Definitely
small
small
towns
towns
can
for
be
sure. So I just didn't
I
like
can
the
feel
living
you
around the
there.
small town shit, like you were saying, dude. And I just wanted out. So 82nd was nice for me, man. I learned a lot real fast as a young adult, and yeah, man. I don't know what to really say about the 82nd. It was a hard fucking time when I was first there, dude. It was a bad times at my life, but the best times of my life, I can say that. Went through the most shit with some of the best people and some of the best times, the most awesome experiences. I could never, ever see that shit again. You know.
Right. Yeah, much respect to you for that, man. It takes a big person to go out there and do that shit. So hats off to you and thank you for your service. But let's push on a little bit to the happier sides of the story. So psychedelics, you want to tip into the cannabis side before we get to the funner side? It
Sure,
don't
sure.
matter to me. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Uh,
Speaking of which, man, it's about time for a dab right here, right? I got my dab
You
now.
take that dab. I knew I should have had some ready, but I failed to prepare for the dabs. But I got a big fat fatty here, so I'll
Yeah,
puff along while you're hitting that dab.
I seen you
But I
rolling your
encourage the
fatty up.
people in chat and watching along to please puff on that fatty or take that dab.
Chill.
Yeah, this is I've been looking very forward to this ever since you agreed to this. I was like, hell yeah! And then as I've been watching more and more the Embracing Organic show, there, I'm like, oh yeah, this will be fun. So, when did you start growing there? And
So I started growing
what?
around 2014, really. I've never really grown weed before until 2014. Then I found my buddy told me about check out the subcool, the weed nerd. I'm like, who the hell is that? So checked him out, man. Fucking saw what he was about, and I was like, what the fuck? So I literally sat there every day, bro. Cause I didn't have shit to do. I was on fucking Oilfield was going down the shitter and there's laying people off, so I had nothing going on. And so I just sat there with a notebook, bro, just taking notes on all the fucking knowledge that was dropped. And you know, you don't always get all the knowledge, but you watch a fucking hour, you might get 5 minutes of knowledge somewhere hidden in there, from just a conversation. So I would just pick that apart, bro, and I just learned fast as hell. Within months, I expanded my fucking grow with, I don't know. I was no longer a novice, that's for sure. Then
Yeah, you definitely compiling through there. I mean, I remember seeing some fire pictures of your strains you were growing and some badass buds. You came into the scene strong, that's for sure.
I had a
And
lot of heart for it,
it's
man. A
nice to
lot of
see it.
Yeah, I had a lot of heart, passion for it,
You
and it's
could
like
tell.
I knew it was something that I was going to do the rest of my life. It's like this is what I should have been doing way back when. But I never, for me, so me growing up, I never encountered a fucking grow or dude that grew weed or anything. The only fucking weed or anything I saw on the street was someone selling me a bag. So I never was ever introduced to like a weed growing scene growing up. So well, I probably would have fell into it even sooner than I did. But my grandparents were farmers and whatnot, but you know, they never told me they grew weed. But
Well, it seemed to come very natural to you, that's for sure. And so I see you're growing the American one, Sophia. How you liking that?
these girls are strong. That's what I just loaded the bud room up with. And these girls are fat and round. I just put up a video on Tanasi Gardens YouTube. I just do like, so you got the top nodes that run up, and I just pick off the leaves off that top node that shoot up, and it keeps them squatty, and they're fucking round. They're like a little planet with a little stick holding them up. And I just flipped those to flower 2 days ago. So I'm excited to see what these dudes come out, these ladies. Because there's something about us, that first seed run, you know, there's just so much fatter and girthier of a stalk that you can't beat on that seed run. I just actually did the Gadivas as well. I found 2 keepers out of that, and I've been slacking on putting up photos on Instagram on that. But
Oh,
I
tell
found
me about that. 'Cause I just dropped that like yesterday. I dropped 6 of those. So tell me what you got with the Godiva.
so they're really tall. They're not tall, but like stacked. Everything looked like it was single cola all the way down. I grew them in 5 gallons, so they know what they become. Then everything's tight, nodes and everything very leafy. They're some of the phenos are super leafy. Then the one pheno I got, I actually freeze dried it, and it's got like a sweet smell to it. It didn't come out like a cheese or anything. It's like a sweet pine. It's very unique. I like it. I've been doing so. I got a freeze jar. I've been following Pedro and whatnot with his freeze jar and how to make the best hash and stuff. And I've been playing around with freeze dried buds. So I've taken some of my harvest and I'll put it and load it in the freeze dryer, and then it's fucking. I love it because I just smoke dabs all the time. So for me to smoke flower, I taste like the chlorophyll and shit, man. It's like I'm just so used to concentrate the purities and the taste and whatnot. So when I first did the freeze dry, I'm like, hell yeah, man, this shit's fucking great. It doesn't have the chlorophyll taste. It fucking tastes like fucking really good and flavorful, and it like breaks up real fine. Then, but I mean, everything's about it's nice. And I've been doing a lot of research. This Cryo Cure company is actually selling humongous freeze dryers to do this, and it doesn't have any degradation of like the THC, and so everything's just pristine, and it's fucking amazing. Then only downside to that though, you're gonna lose your goddamn weight. So say you usually get 5 pounds out of a fucking light, you know, or a little run. You're gonna lose fucking 3 to 4 of that, 3.5 probably. And like, so I've had
Ouch, that's a
conversations.
beating.
It's a lot, and I've had conversations with people say, so what's the freeze jar taking out of the normal jar bud? That's not because this one chick said that she actually had her weed go and get tested, and it comes back with 0 water, H2O or whatnot, no moisture. So if there's no water weight in that bud, what makes your tent dry bud so heavy as opposed to this freeze dried bud, which is way bigger? So you know how a normal sandwich bag, if you put an ounce in there, it might be 3/4 full, maybe on some big buds. An ounce in a freeze dried bag, you're stuffing that dude and breaking buds up to like get that dude zipped. It's like a humongous little fat pillow. So the eye appeal's there. That's great for, you know, getting out the door if you need to. But
How, how's
where's
the
the weight
structure
going?
on
That's
it
what I'm
when you're
saying.
breaking it up?
Where's the weight going? That's what I'm confused about in the freeze dryer. Because that's just not. It's not like there's a little bit of weight gone. There's a extreme, like a lot, over 50%, if not 50. Any thoughts from you
Yeah,
about
you're
that,
not
man?
selling me.
Yeah, I don't know
No,
what.
I'm not. I haven't played with the freeze dryer much. I'm not there yet. I'm not really sold on it. If I was making nothing but, let me rephrase that. If I was making a lot of rosin, I could see the benefits of a freeze dryer.
Hmm.
But I don't. I don't
Yeah,
have one. And to be honest, the hash I've had from one is just so reminiscent of a good dry sift than something I want to go out and pay that high dollar for a freeze dryer. But like if I were gonna, like I said, if I were just drying buds to break down for either bubble or to press them, then I could definitely want to take that, speeding up the process. I would definitely utilize it in that way, I think. But I don't know where all that weight goes. It's got to be losing 100% of the water, where most times we're leaving what, up to 10% in there. Most provisioning centers will take up 10%. So that's a substantial loss. I mean, you're not selling me at all on the freeze
yeah.
dryer thing.
It's not.
I was already on the bad side, but once I found out there's that much of a weight loss, I mean, plus when I've heard about it as well as in a long-term storage, it, from what I've heard, again, not from my experience, just from what I've heard, from a long time, like 90 days after being like stored in a package, that I've heard it kind of crumbles down a little bit more than a normal dry would. So just my opinion on the freeze dryer. But there's so much tech. I mean, there's so much tech to be learned, and I'm not even there yet. So I'm not a good one to really talk about the pluses or minuses of a freeze dryer. But you have one. I mean, what are the pluses that you found of running it?
With my
You've
hash.
told us the minus, the loss.
Yeah,
You
that's with
found
the that's with the
noticeable.
buds. That's with me just trying buds, But with I usually just use it for hash, same as like following Pedro's methods. But
And
I've
where
learned.
he's making that into a bubble hash and then pressing it, correct?
Hmm. Just letting it.
Freeze dried buds, bubble hash,
Yes.
and then pressing it.
No, actually, he doesn't even
So
freeze dry
yeah,
the buds. It's just straight up. I want to say dries his in a tent first, and then washes it, and then freeze dries the hash only. But I have seen. I mean, the hash or the buds that do come out. Excuse me. If you did wash those buds, I think that would the cryo cure. Someone else that was talking about it in chat. They talk on their website. It increases the yields when you're extracting it,
oh, I could
which I
see
could
that.
see, you can see because it just can powder in your hand if you get it super dry.
Well, I could definitely see that if you were going to have make a steady operation of bubble, I could see that being a plus. It's just I don't know. I guess it's the drier end of it. I like more of a greasy. I like to press it into temple balls and cannolis and stuff like that. So I'm not necessarily worried about a nice beach sand or sifty looking, pretty hash. I'm more like a Frenchy cannoli kind of hash style guy
Temple
myself.
ball.
I don't do a lot of dabs. Yeah, I don't do a lot of dabs. I love dabs. Don't get me wrong, but if I have my choice, I would rather have. I got some right here, nice thing of hash right there, and fucking you know, nice temple ball with a cheese grater, nice little micro grater. Make it a nice, like almost like cheese. It's sprinkling in on a joint, like I just did on this bad boy. Yeah, that's the way I liked it, my hash. But I'm not opposed to dabs. I'll take it wherever I can get it. That's the way with me and my methods. What I have here with right now. So
Right.
I appreciate everybody's methods. When I go to the festivals and provisioning center, I'm still like a kid in a candy store. Give me some of that. Give me some of that. Give me some of that. So I love it all. That's for sure. So what's your favorite there? What's your, obviously you prefer dabs?
Yep, for sure, man. That's what I have all day, every day. It's from the morning I wake up, or in the morning when I wake up. Something about the dabs do it for me, man. Fucking a doobie just don't hit me no more. It's too much work, I guess, to get high. As opposed, I can take that one big hit and that dab, and I'm good. I don't know.
Jeez, Tanasi, I can't understand that.
Yeah, and I don't know everything. I'm harsh on my lungs, man, too, bro. I'm a little pussy sometimes when it comes to smoking, dude. I get like this little puffco, dude. I don't even really use it that much because to put a little dab in here, dude, you're not getting it in one hit. You're getting it in like 3 to 5 hits. And so by the time I take that second hit, I'm already choked up. I can't be like, I can't even finish it. So I don't know. I take it
You'd rather
easy.
take one big one off fast,
Yeah, give me
take it
that
in
big one.
fast light.
Yeah, just clear it on a spoon, bro, and just slam. I don't know, man. I feel like that's where it helps me the most, because I have anger issues and whatnot, and things that bother me, man. Something about a big dab, calm my ass down quick, dude. And I just can start, instead of like reacting and being all frustrated and overwhelmed, it sits me back down and be like, hey, man, it's going to be fucking all right. Chill out. It's not too bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
That's
see you
where,
as a super chill guy. Yeah,
yeah.
that surprises me a little bit.
I get angry though, quick. I have a fire
Eh,
temper.
yeah,
But that's where
nothing
the
wrong with that.
micro doses, man, and helping with the all that. Man, I do micro dose of 0.2. I was doing it when I was first doing the mushrooms and learned about them probably about 3 years ago now. I was doing them like every day at 0.2. Then I stopped for a bit, a couple of months, and I saw how much it improved after doing it for so long. And then so I went back to doing it and I noticed I didn't really need it every day. It's more like every 2 to 3 days I'll pop a microdose of a 0.2, take it in the morning, and then I'm good. It's like a little vitamin that just, I don't know how to describe how it just adjusts your attitude about life. It repositions your negativity or your fucking bullshit to the right path that you need to be going down, or give you some type of thought on how to do that. I don't know. It's hard to describe what a
I
micro
agree.
is. You ever experienced with
Like you said, it.
micros?
I, yeah, not so much an a steady microdose, but I have most definitely played with psychedelics.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer that even if you're not messing with a microdose type setting, that it should be something that should be ingested like once a year, just to, like you're saying, bring you back to center and, you know, ground you, if you will. It helps you, reassess things in that little journey, if you will. So I'm a big advocate of at least once a year, and I found it early on. I think I started experimenting with LSD about 16, 17 years old. And I found that to be very true early on. It helped me, clarify what I wanted to do and what I was passionate about. And when things got too cloudy for me, it helped bring me right back. And that's something I noted early on in my life. And as I messed with it more and more, in particular with the mushrooms, I found to be very true. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I found lately, more looking into the subject, that seems to be the rage, with, like, say, the computer world and everything else like that. That's what they're using to expand their minds is daily fucking doses of mushrooms. I've seen millionaires fucking on TV taking some a little bit microdose with orange juice and breakfast, and he's talking about, I'm going to Wall Street, and this is I suggest this. I do this every day. It just helps me in a better mood, and so yeah, I believe in it wholeheartedly. So let's talk about a little bit on how it's helped you with your anxiety, and can you suggest a regimen for somebody out there that may uh, be looking to experiment with it a little bit?
So I can just say from what I have done, and I feel like some people, everybody's going to have to find their own dosage, you know. So like my dose is around a point two, maybe a 0.15, not even. Then the girlfriend, dude, she'll do a point five or 0.05. So she's only doing like 50 milligrams, which is actually what Paul Stamets recommends in his little nootropics, is with some lion's mane and a 50 milligram dose of psilocybin. And that works perfect for her. That's not too overwhelming. So I feel like for everybody's going to have to find their own what settles with them. And here's another thing, man, because the ones that are grown in the cow shit in Texas are not the same ones that can come out of someone's closet, you know, they can grow in their closet. So your dosage will be different with each bag you get, unless you know you're a farmer or if you're growing them yourself, the way that you grow them. Because and the strains, dude, the strains could be different as well. So a penis envies, I won't take a point two of a penis envy. I might take like a 0.8. There's and it's not that I don't know if they're that stronger is the word, or I guess it is if we're talking about potency. But the way that I can describe it is, so you got your golden teachers, penis envies, albino A pluses, and just whole different varieties, right? Think of it as each one is a different type of strain. Okay, now this different strain of THC, right? That this plant's going to have this much THC content. This one's going to have this much concentrated THC within the plant. So I feel like it's just amount of psilocybin within those different varieties of mushrooms. So if you get a bag of penis envies, they're not going to be the same as your golden teachers when you do your, like your point ones or your
So
point
do
two.
you think it's the amount of psilocybin in the mushroom, or do you think it's more like an entourage effect of the mushroom, just like a cannabis strain, how the terpenes can vary a little bit? Do you think it's, like I said, the amount of psilocybin in the mushroom, or do you think it's something, a mix inside the mushroom itself that
There, yes. So
takes you different places?
yes, so that's how the different cannabinoids work with the THCs, the different people's chemicals in their heads. Same with the mushrooms. This one's got this much psilocybin, this one's got this much psilocin, and they all become the same thing throughout eventually, you know, in your body. But it's like in the beginning, they might have different amounts of different levels of things. And so your trips are different. So you take some golden teachers, you might have an uppity, trippity, like skipping through the woods trip, you know, as opposed to you eat a bag of penis envies, you're going to be laying on the fucking couch, you know, you're not going to want to be up jumping nowhere. But, um, yeah, so to do micro doses, I've given to my grandmother, man, point ones. She said she didn't feel nothing on it. So, I mean, a point one is a good starter, I believe, for any dose, especially if you're any type of worried about doing that. Do it always. So a microdose to me is I take it in the morning. I'm not going to take unless I'm going to an event. You asked me earlier about why I kind of do it. If I'm going to an event to get rid of the anxiety and like just being in public, because I have a thing with I'm in a crowd of people. There's too many people in a crowd. I'm more concentrated on my head's on a swivel. I'm looking around. I can't really concentrate on one person. And if I go to talk to you, I can't hear you're in front of me. I can't hear anything you're saying to me because all I hear is this background chatter that is drowning you out. And you're just like a deaf person or you're just deaf to me as I can't hear shit. So I take a microdose, bro, in a public situation. It brings all that away. It breaks those sheds that right off. I'm peppy. I'm talkative. I'm energetic. I'm socializing with people. I'm able to give people my full concentration and conversate with you and like, you know, be more human as opposed to a little fucking freak out panic attack situation. So back to the microdose though. So I do a point one, point two. I'll give my grandmother a point one. Excuse me. I was telling everybody a second. The point one, if you take it on in the morning on a weekend where you have shit to do, I don't it will never be overwhelming to the point where you're never ever going to do mushrooms and you're so fucking scared, you're freaking out, you're going to, you know, it's not going to happen. You might get anxiety and like a little overwhelming of that feeling, but it's not going to be to the where we freak out and like see crap and like how people have the voodoo on the mushroom, you know. It's not it's not like that. I don't think the microdose is like that. And I have to have you have to have a scale. I think people who don't bring scales into it when they're doing micros is, I don't know, because you're not doing the same every time.
Careless. I think it's a little careless, like you said, because you're trying to even it out and, you know, make, you know, more of a medicine. And it's hard to find it to be a good cure if it's up and down, and you're just kind of eyeballing it like that.
Right. And you
You're
can't
trying to,
really
you
eyeball
know,
it either. Because I've seen mushrooms that are as big as this, my pinky, and it weighed twice as much as a mushroom that's big as my thumb. So to actually eyeball it is just kind of ridiculous to me because you can't. Because I've seen the variances in the weights all the time.
so let's speak to that a little bit. Would you say potency changes in the different sizes? Is one a big fat mushroom uh, going to be a whole lot stronger than a smaller cap?
I feel like it's equal throughout the mushroom, the psilocybin, yeah. I don't feel like there's a potency more in the big ones than the small ones. I think it's all even throughout. But it's just this is where I like to talk about like ancient people and stuff. They would like like you have pictures of people holding one or two, maybe three mushrooms in their hands. And on your couple, when you get big flushes on growing, you'll get mushrooms on the second and third flushes that are ginormous, you know. And I think those are the ones that they would be holding where, yeah, you eat two or three of these mushrooms, you're going to break through a plane as opposed to eating little baby ones. That's There's something to that. It's all weight though. It's not that this mushroom is bigger than this one's smaller. I feel like it's a scale and it's all weight, and it's a little, each trip is going to get you to the breakthrough point. And I have a protocol for that because I feel like that's hard to reach. Not everybody breaks through a plane when they take mushrooms, and they don't understand what they're doing most of the time when you're taking large doses, and how it's a tool. And if you use the tool correctly, it'll open up a vision that you didn't know was there, a door. And I think a lot of people take their 3 or 4 grams and they go out into the concert, they go out to the party, you know, or they try to sit down and watch TV, or they're just distracted by life. And that's not, when you go to these realms of breakthroughs and like really deep dive into your mental health, it's scary. It's hard, dude, too. It's fucking tough. It's mentally tough, physically tough, because you're going and you're battling. It's you, the darkness, and the mushroom. Nobody can help you. You might have a friend there watching you and stuff, but you can't. They can't just sit there and talk you out of this. It's a trip that you go on, and you have to I've only been able to do it by fasting. I fast for 24 hours. And weeks before this, I've cleaned my diet up. I try not to eat sugars and red meats, no caffeine. Then the day of, or the day before, I'll fast for 24 hours. Then the day of, I'll make a tea. And you take that tea and you go lay in your bed. I'll take it towards the end of the night so it's not sun coming through and stuff. Because I want to lay in that bed, and I want to put a mask on and have maybe a playlist of some like shamanistic stuff that I have queued up. But I'm going to just sit in that bed in the dark with that blindfold on. And I'm going to disconnect my visual distraction. And I'm going to use this sound that I have with the shamans singing to me, like chanting, to take away the visual or hearing sounds of distractions. And when that happens, dude, you'll break through this plane of where you're connected to this informational acacia record of information that you can sit here and think about all your imperfections. And I feel like this is where Paul Stamets, I think, talks about it. And Kalindi Alili, I'm going to butcher his fucking name. Kalindi Ali. he's taking like 30, 40 gram doses, and he's talking about people being able to repair themselves and like being able to see. And this is where I feel this is where like Jesus and stuff would talk about he can heal you with. And I feel like the mushrooms were involved back then, as that was part of this religion was mushrooms. And on these large doses, I've done 10 and 15 gram doses, and I've felt that as well, where you can kind of regenerate and repair yourself by pinpointing your imperfections. And that's just on low. That's a low dose, I feel like, compared to what they're doing and what they're talking about. But and you're the information you're connected to. It's you can sit here and think about anything. This is why if you do go into big trips, one thing, have something wrote down that, hey, I want to answer these questions. These are things that are on my mind that I want answered, or just because when you do connect to this universe, you can sit here and think about things, and everything just comes to you. You know everything. It's like everything you've asked is just now being answered, and it's just flowing through you. And the information is just overwhelming. And you're sitting there for 3 4 hours, able to do this, and I don't know, just the benefit physically and mentally coming out of that is just amazing. I don't know. I think everybody should at least feel it once. And yeah, like you're saying, this isn't something you're going to do fucking every fucking weekend. This isn't, you might do it I haven't done it in a year, over a year before since I've done that, a big dose. But you might need it once every 5, maybe you will do it once, never do it again.
That's why. Oh, I agree. That's the thing with the microdosing, on a daily or every other daily basis. It's a good way to keep yourself with some clarity and some creativity and whatnot. Keep your mind moving at its best. But like you say, the upper doses there, they can be fun, like you said, in a concert setting. I've had one of the best times I had. I seen Klutz last year, and it was a little nerve wracking. I lost my ticket beforehand, so the ride in was a little little panicky. But once I got in, and it was a fucking awesome fucking time. Klutz kicked ass, and it was great. But in the same aspect, if you're going to use it for a medicine, then you kind of need to go the route like you're saying there. You kind of need to separate yourself from a lot of the bullshit, and you really need to, I haven't been as wise as you have. I listened to your method there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see some stuff that I should be doing here that makes perfect sense. Usually when, for me, it's more or less being in the garden, just more being by myself and letting it take me where it needs to be. And that helps me out a lot, center, and just calm things. It helps, pull the anxiety back. But then again, I'm gonna be very adamant, I guess, about this because I've only told a few people about this, and I guess since you're here and we're on the subject, and what the fuck, right? That's
Right
what it's
on.
about. About 2 years ago, and this is the thing too. You have to have the correct mindset, I guess, going into it. You have to be somewhat optimistic that you're going to go in, because sometimes if you go too deep, it might make you look at yourself or things around you. It could be a bad ride, but it can be very informative. It just makes you look at yourself. It can sometimes make you look at it yourself in a way you may not want to look at yourself.
People
And
don't want to see that
I
sometimes.
had one of those. You're right, brother. You're right. And I had one of those experiences. It was on a higher dose, but fortunately it wasn't one of those things. It wasn't necessarily about me, brother. It was like you said. I kind of hit that Akashic record there, or whatever you want to call it. But I seen what was coming ahead of me in the future, and it wasn't fucking pretty. It wasn't fucking pretty, and it made me fucking reassess myself on how the fuck it was gonna, how I was gonna take it, and if I was gonna even be able to take it. Because I'm here to tell you, it was fucking a blow. What I seen was quite a blow, and it came 100% tuition. 100%. Months later, everything I saw absolutely came true. Everything I fucking saw. And that's 100, dude. I'm not bullshitting you. People that know me close, I've told this to, and they know what happened. They know what fucking happened. But what I'm trying to get here is because I had seen it ahead of time and I had already fucking dealt with it in my head, I walked through it with like fucking no problem. I practically, rose above the situation and was able to maintain and handle it more better than I ever thought I would. And trust me, it was a fucking fucked up situation. But I was able to keep my bearings through it all. And most people, other people that was watching while it was fucking transpiring was like, dude, how in the fuck are you doing this, man? And it was because I had already made amends with it. I had already seen it. I had already fucking made amends with it, and you know, but it wasn't for that trip. Like you said, it can take you there and it can make you face some things, but it can help you fix a lot of things. And if you take it towards a positive way in the beginning, like you said, with your chanting and whatnot, then it can help you figure out a positive journey in your life. And
Take it as a
I
tool.
guess I need to start like that from the beginning and take that, at
Yeah,
more of a future, look more towards the future than I guess then. Because every time I do it, I seem to try to figure out the shit, what I fucked up in the past or whatever. But the way you're using it, you seem to be using it more to answer the future. And that seems
not
like
necessarily the
a
answer,
much better route.
not necessarily future though, but just answer like just mental, like helping me with my daily problems and solving this. And um, it's not, yeah, it's not necessarily that. It's because the plants. Here's what I like best about the plant. The plant doesn't change you. The plants show you how pieces of shit you are and makes you want to make that change. I feel like, in a sense.
Right.
So it peels back the veil, and like a lot, you have to be mentally prepared for that. A lot of people will never ever take mushrooms, and they probably should never, because the come down, the come back, and like bounce back, they're not. It's not that they're dumb or anything. They're probably smart. They're smart ass motherfucking people I've met. They're just not on that mental page where once they break through or they come, whatever that little psilocybin does to their brain, it's hard for them to like match it back up and come back and like understand reality the same way. I feel like I've seen it happen to a
I
couple
think
of.
I would be kind of quick to point out too, these first few journeys, you may even want to be with a friend, you know what I mean? Somebody that can coach you, you know what I mean? Somebody that's been down the path and can coach you before you really start microdosing and trying to go down the deeper paths on your own. I would
Lots of
definitely
research,
try
yeah.
a coach.
Do lots of research and have someone knowing what's up. Because I remember taking my first like 3.5 grams of mushrooms, sitting, waiting for my parents to go to bed. And I took them in my bedroom. I'm like 16, eat them all. And I literally felt like I was gonna die, dude. I was making peace with myself that I was ate something bad and I'm dying. And I laid there and I didn't die, but I thought I was gonna die for hours. And it was miserable and horrible, but I still learned something from it though. It wasn't like even the worst trips, you still come out with something positive. And I wish I would have known more about it back then, like I do now, because if I'd have known you can eat your entire body weight in mushrooms and you can't die, I probably would have never had that mental thought that I'm dying, because no one ever told me that I couldn't eat mushrooms and not die. But it's just knowing your research, man. If you're going to dive into these deep realms and stuff, and I I didn't have nobody teaching me. I just learned it by going there, and I want to be able to answer people's questions and like, hey man, do it this way, take it into your room, have a sitter and follow these protocols and have these breakthrough experiences and see these realms that I'm talking about. Because even everyone should see it at least once, even if you don't ever go back one time. And that's the same with DMT. DMT is a powerful thing that I feel like would be great for suicides. Although, like, I've had 3 army buddies kill themselves, and I wish I was able to like sit down with them and like give them DMT beforehand and let them feel that leaving body death experience and coming back to earth before they. But that's the bad thing about people who want to do suicide. They're not going to tell you when it's time. They're just going to go do it. But people who are suffering from like suicide and whatnot, I feel like a good session or maybe a couple sessions of DMT could really bring you back to baseline to show you that, hey, maybe dying isn't the best option. Physically dying, anyways. Maybe spiritually.
Let's like just because we've hit that mark right there. Let's like stop and say if you are at any point having any kind of suicidal thoughts, make sure and reach out to somebody. Don't be afraid to reach out and tell somebody that you just need some help. That everybody needs a hand every now and again. So there's tons of people out there. If you can't find a friend or whatever, there's lots of numbers, suicidal helpline out there. There's lots of people that can help you through your hard times. So no, don't ever, don't go that route.
Hell, I'll say to them, even if you don't even want to reach out and talk to anybody, 'cause I know I'm like that sometimes. I don't want to fucking reach out and talk to nobody. find find you some psychedelics. Find some mushrooms, something. Try some microdose. And I'm not saying take a big ass fucking dose and freak out. Take a fucking microdose and try that out. That could be more therapeutic than fucking any conversation I've ever sat down with any fucking VA psychologist or any psychiatrist. For sure.
Right on. But sometimes, like in that moment, you know what I mean? It's better to, you might not be able to take the psychedelic route or whatever, It's a phone call is much better than taking that life, that's for sure. And I guarantee there's always somebody out there that will happily take that call. Anyways, let's get back to the subject there. Have you tried DMT
Oh yeah, man. I've been.
yourself?
I feel like it goes hand in hand with my psychedelic experiences. I love mixing DMT in my big mushroom trips, like the breakthrough doses that I was telling you about the mushrooms. I really think there's something about having the psilocybin DMT compound in your body at the same time. Um, so in the Bibles and stuff, there's the brew called Soma, all this ancient text on it. They don't know what the 3 4 plants are that they made this brew with, but I want to fucking put my heart and soul into it that I believe it's psilocybin and DMT, which would have been ayahuasca and mushrooms in a brew of something else. But they were having these breakthrough trips at the back of the tabernacle, and I don't know, man, just something. So when you do DMT sober, you're gonna experience that death feel. Okay, at a certain amount. If you hit that certain point, it's all about getting so much vaporized in your body. Once you get that amount in your body, and it could be different for everybody, you're going boom, you're gonna leave your body, experience death, go to the next place, and then come back to Earth until you're gonna feel falling back to your body. And I've done that one time, and I'm scared to death to do that again. But that was exactly what I and what I say it's going to be when I die. When I die, what happened on me on that big head DMT is what I know is going to happen when I die, and I'm going to go to the next place. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. I can't. It's gonna be great. But so that's what happens when you're sober on DMT. Now, if you put psilocybin in your body, and I've gotten it down to 1 gram in your body, you can hit as much DMT as you want, and you're not going to feel the separation of death and leave your body and go to the next place and come back. You're going to, I guess, the way I've been described to it, your brain's now able in the psilocybin to understand and control or handle everything that the DMT is about to show you. And instead of going unconscious, and because it's overwhelming information, the psilocybin allows your brain to receive it. And now you're able to, boom, pop out. If you hit enough DMT on your mushrooms, you'll experience the small amount of death feel, but you pop out on Earth and you're inside Earth in this realm of the DMT world that I don't know. I've only been there twice, man. It's hard to get to. It's not easy. And I used to think it could only get there on these high doses of psilocybin. And I just experienced it last weekend. And it is possible on a low gram dose of psilocybin and a good point of DMT. You can pop through the veil and be on Earth where I don't know what's possible in these states. Like it's fucking so awe and you're so mesmerized by getting there that you don't really have time to understand or what you can do and just keep going back, keep getting to these realms and seeing what the possibilities are. So I feel like there's something to that. That can't be, I just feel like there's a door here and like how can get in it and it can't be for nothing. There has to be some benefit to this because it's, I don't know, it's just so magical and special. I want everybody to be able to experience it as well.
I wish I could have experienced it. I wish I could. If it wouldn't been to be able to find it, I would have already tried it myself because I know in my heart that it unlocks. There's some stuff waited, to be unlocked right there for me. And as soon as I get the opportunity, I'm going down that rabbit hole myself because I know that there is a record there, and you just got to be able to clear your mind enough to access it. And,
Yeah.
that's one of the tools. It's been passed down for generation to generation to generation in the old world countries, and there's a reason for it. And there's just modern medicine and doesn't want to take that shit because they can't make money and they can't explain it for one, and they can't really make money off it because it's not a an everyday cure. You don't need that experience all the time. They don't need scripts for that. You can get your visions and move on. Some people take that vision that one time and they've seen all they needed to see and they went on to change all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't want to make that accessible for everybody.
No, but I feel
They
like it
should.
should
It's
be.
bullshit. It's so. Oh,
This is the true illegal freedom. I feel like the psychedelic realm, the way that it's able to access your minds, like that's the legal freedom that they don't want you to have.
I mean, they've known about it for a long time. Timothy Leary, Terrence McKenna, they preached it early on. And some people listened, some people didn't. But the fucking government sure the fuck didn't want them talking.
No.
They didn't want to hear that shit.
It's in the big ancient books, man. We got ancient texts right sitting in front of our eyes. It's just all been translated into words that doesn't seem like it is what it is. And it's been hidden by the church and pushed down because it's taboo. And why do we want everybody to be gods? We don't want everybody to be gods. We only want one God. I don't know. I have my doubts. I grew up in the religion, the Baptist church down there in the South, the Bible Belt. So I know the Bible very well. And I feel like there's a lot of, it's just mistranslated. There's stories in there that probably did happen, but the way that they're interpreted are not the actual way. I feel like it's been thousands of translations down through many different languages. Like, come on, man. You telling me it's the same word on the fucking paper?
It's not only that. In most cases, it's been a bunch of books put together, in a smaller version of what they kind of want you to know, and that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, the
There's
ones
so
that
much more knowledge out of there.
the
I've
books
been
that
down the same roads, brother. I've been an atheist. I've read the Bible. I've went down all the paths, and right now I'm kind of leaning in on. I would, if I were to call myself anything, I would say I'm like a Buddhist right now. I kind of, respect all religions. I'm not saying any of them's wrong, right? No, nothing. In fact, a lot of my tattoos, kind of tip their hat to certain religions because I have looked into them, and I, have taken lessons from them, and I kind of tip my hat to them. Do I see that? See, that's the ultimate one and absolutely right? Maybe not, but right now, the philosophy in Buddhism isn't a religion. It's philosophy. It's the way you approach life, and I kind of digging the shit out of that currently. So at this point in my life, I guess that's the banner I guess I'd be flying if I had to, namesake anything. Not necessarily an atheist anymore. I've realized there's something out there for sure, and spirit, power, and light source, whatever you want, whatever you want to call it. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? As
yeah.
long as we all believe there's something else out there, we're chasing the greater good. I am absolutely 100% cool with that.
There's something to take from every piece of religion for sure. Something everybody could take. Whew. Dab time, everybody.
What are you dabbing on over there?
I've got some rosin that I made from the freezer up here. So I just kind of keep all my trim. Let's see if I can show you a photo. I kind of keep all my trim in the freezer, and then see all creamy stuff there. And
It's
then
pretty.
I'll wash all my trim and then freeze dry it, press it out. Boom. Head stash for,
Yeah, I'm definitely running behind on the tech on without that rosin press. I mean, that is definitely some next level shit.
that is. Once I saw it happening and Pedro pull it off, and then dialed in terpenes, did it up at DGC, did an episode. Damn, dude. I was like, if I'm not making that, then I don't want to fucking make it. Is what I said. So had to go get a freeze dryer. Had a couple people go in with it. Got them all paid off though. Now it's mine. Then yeah, freeze dry everything, dude. Try to. Except I haven't really done food actually. It's just all been hash. Hash and some
Have
fun.
you ever thought of, I guess I'm gonna propose this to you because I've proposed it to a few other people. Couldn't you actually kind of try to make some good hash out of your old bubble hash water? Maybe gently dry it and reclaim some terps and some heads like that. It'd probably be a long process, but couldn't you siphon off the top of something and then just kind
I'm
of
curious to
freeze
how that.
dry that bottom?
I'm curious on some text to do that because I know because you're gonna fucking hate this, bro. But when we're doing the wash, we literally just go over there and toss it off to the side of the rocks. We're not even keeping the water, but there has to be. So when we dump it, dude, it's fucking terpy as hell, and like there has to be something in the water. What do you do with the water? What is? I don't think there is like a tech or anything.
Well, there's a couple of ways here. What I do is us at the Michigan Bros Grow Show. We fucked around, have talked about this a few times, and I know for myself, I like to feed it back to my plants. If I'm not doing nothing with it, I like to feed them terps right back to the plant. I like to get room temperature, and then I feed it, half, mix it again one more time, half with water, and then I feed that to my plants as like a relief in between the feed cycle. Just kind of rinse some salts out and give it a bunch of itself, basically, naturally. And they seem to love that. It seems to, really boost the terps. I found, you know, Pro Tech, whatever there. I've done it for years and I've always noticed a plus out of it. But lately we got talking, and I've talked to a few other people about this as well. Abolish there, and we had a sesh on what we should do with it one night, and we come up with the idea, more or less. He came up with the idea of making it into Kool-Aid. Now, if you ain't spraying shit all over your fucking plants, then you should be quite cool with drinking that water. And what he did was he made the Kool-Aid, or he took the water and he put a thing of honey in it. I don't know the exact process, but he sweetened it with fucking honey, and he put, whatever sweetener, some kind of Kool-Aid in there. And another guy told me make sure and bring it to a boil to make sure it's you psychoactive all them heads and shit that are left in the water to kind of
Makes sense.
electrify it a little bit more. I don't know if Abolish did that or not, but I know he brought some to the Detroit Cup, and we fucking all had a great ride on the hash water, fucking bubble hash water Kool-Aid. Is what we did with it. So yeah, if you ain't spraying shit on your plants, that's a good way of utilizing that terpy fucking heady water, because I don't fuck with that 25 bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I'm making bubble, I don't ain't got time. And I really feel like when you're shaking that bag, you're losing a bunch of shit anyway. And what's left is really getting beat up into a mash. So why waste your damn time anyway? Cut it off at 45, 37 and speed up your process. You know what I mean? So I know for a good fact that there's tons and tons of, good heads and, stalks in there, trichome stalks in there. So it would be, it makes perfect sense to make something out of there. Maybe you could even make like a kombucha out of it. I don't know how you make kombucha, but if
You
could
can make a tea with it, I bet.
for that.
I bet you can make a tea with that. Then I would be down to just make Kool-Aid with it or some type of drink. That sounds like a great idea to me, dude. I like to sip on that and get fucked up throughout the evenings,
Right?
Boom.
Try it next time you make a
It
little
has
bit of
to be
bubble hash.
strong.
Take some of that water. Oh yeah, it was good. It was good, man. He brought me a nice fucking jug of it. I pounded that shit in the Detroit Cup, man. I walked through there. I was all fucked up. It was a good day. It was a real good day.
Hell yeah. Good shit, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to save that water for sure. What kind of plants you got behind you? You still growing TGA?
Not so much anymore. I guess I'll say it. I was growing a lot of shit, and then I flipped back some seeds for the cuvee, and I was promised cuvee seeds right back, and I didn't get them, so I got in a little fit, and I kind of chopped some shit.
Shit. I'll see how
But
that.
he's
Yep.
he's still a good friend of mine. We made amends. I wasn't just a tester; I was a friend of his. So it was just one of them things, and shit happened. Whatever.
Yep.
This behind me is a strain I'm working on. Is Beautiful Loser. Uh, that one's getting ready to come down tonight. That is Shrimp Wizards Challenger Deep times Winnie, which would be, the longer version of that is our Star Destroyer times Wizard's Glue times C99 times Durabane Poison. That's what
Damn.
she is.
She got the
Pretty
derp
tasty.
smell?
Yeah. She's got the Challenger Deep bud structure and the Duraband and the C99 traits, I think, as far as buzz and effects. She tastes like a fruit to her when you're smoking the flower. And, super proud of it so far. This is the keeper pheno that I decided to keep and keep around and pass around a little bit. I'm not trying to put it out to market or nothing. This would be just something to pass out to some friends and whatever.
That's the best. Free weed's the best, dude.
Right on. Other than that, I got a bunch of med grower ones and tights or Empire Breeding Company's stuff, some Dominatrix and some Primal Punch 2 and Primal Punch 1. I've got Beard on Fire, Lemon Lava Drops. I've got a bunch of fire I'm working through, and I got a bunch of TGA strains. Pardon me?
Are you a pheno hunter? Are you pheno hunting all those?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I've been doing that for a long time. That's what made me one of the testers that I was with Sub was I actually ran. He was no stranger in saying that shit. I ran more of his strains than he did. I checked in at I think it was 45 that I actually ran. I'm sitting on 57 flavors right now. Not ran, but I actually have the packs still.
Yeah, I'm sitting on some packs.
I've kept some of these left over. I've kept a little bit from every run and a few unopened packs. But I'm definitely a pheno hunter myself. I think all in all, I want to say right around 200-300 strains and all to credit at this point. And I was talking to the American one the other night. He said he had been through 1,000 or close to 1,000. I'm like, man, I can't even imagine. That's some serious bean pop in there.
Yeah, it's space right there, for sure.
At one point, I think I was up to juggling like 29 strains, keeping them around in cups. I'm not a fan of keeping mothers. I just kind of keep small clones, make sure take cuts off the one, then put it in, and then keep one healthy one around. Then if I ever want to, monocrop it, I'll just take a bunch of cuts off it and do a monocrop, and then leave one clone behind. It's easier to shelf, multi-genetics that way than a bunch of mothers.
Yep.
It's the way I've always learned. And I find I haven't found a drift like that unless you plant sick. And I don't ever suggest taking clones of a plant if it's sick, put it back outside. That's always seems to be the best remedy I've found for as long as it ain't like, PM or something. If it's just like a nutrient deficiency or something, you can set her out in the sun for a while. You'd be surprised how it'll snap that thing right back and bring a lot of the traits and shit right back into it. Make her good and healthy again. That's the same thing for us, man. We can be sickly in the house for a long time, fucking all winter long. We get out there in that sun, the summertime, it's a whole fucking different game, man. Recharged, got that vitamin D, and it's the same thing with the girls, I think, don't take
same
much.
Thing, dude. I got my cactus do the same shit, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these goofy fuckers, bro. So I grow some cactus from seed, some San Pedros, and you can tell where they go outside every year because they'll get real fat and big. Then they come indoors, and I don't have that. I guess the LEDs just don't do it for them, and they'll be like real tall and slender. Then they get real fat at little spots throughout them. So once you just look up them, it's like fat, small from where I bring them indoors, outdoors for the season, right? It's pretty funny because they're goofy as fuck, bro. But the sun fixes everything.
It does. Cactuses are neat to grow, man. There's so many different varieties of cactus and succulents. It's really a cool plant.
It's hard to
I've seen
kill
some
them.
pretty ones that. You ever see the ones that almost look like they're just fucking covered in a fucking spider mite and they're like super hairy bitches and shit? You almost look at them and you're like, yeah, I don't want nothing. But that's just the way it's supposed to look. But this kind of gardener, you look at that thing and you're like, man, I don't even want that thing near me. Get that fucking cactus out of here. That thing's dirty. But it's just the way the cactus.
I'm thinking of that about my damn tomato plants. They're so like trichome me out with their little fucking pokey shit. I'm like, is that mycin? What is that? It's like it's too thick, but it's just a tomato plant in super soil, It's just strong. But bugs, man.
How do you like the super soil? Are you still running the super soil there?
Hell yeah, man! I make my own
No,
recipe.
you were.
So I got like a $400 or $500 recipe. Then I'll share it to
You
anybody who
mind
wants.
sharing, sir? Yeah, can you drop it down right now if you don't mind? Can
I
you?
can. Let's see. What's the best way? Should I speak it or fucking write it out? Let's see. Let's just talk about it.
There you go.
Talk about it. It's about makes about 6 cans, 32-gallon trash cans. I've got it estimated, depending on what kind of bag soil you buy, it's gonna cost you about $400 or $500. So you're gonna get four 3.8 cubic feet. I'll use Bells of Sunshine. This last batch actually was Roots Organic. I use like 10 3.0 cubic feet bags. You really just want 30 cubic feet for this recipe. You know, it's a big fucking stack. You're doing fucking 200 gallons pretty much. You're going to put four 30-pound bags of worm castings, 5 pounds fish bone meal, 5 pounds bone meal, 6 pounds Peruvian seabird guano. I prefer the seabird guano over any type of other guano due to the fact it has the higher phosphorus. It's like a fucking 12 or some shit. It's higher than any of the other guanos. Then 5 pounds blood meal, 12 cups oyster shell, 12 cups kelp, 12 cups alfalfa, 6 cups Epsom salt, 6 cups dolomite lime, 6 cups azomite, 1 cup humic powder, 5 pounds insect frass, 5 pounds neem seed meal, 3 pounds langbonite. Boom. Mix all that shit up, man, with a rake on a tarp. Wet it down real good with some fucking water. Put it in some trash cans. I put them in 32-gallon trash cans. That's the easier way to store it, so I can put it in my basement because if it's cold outside, it's just gonna freeze. Ain't gonna do shit pretty much. So down in the basement, that's when give it 60 days, dude. It's gonna do its little fermentating, cook, whatever, little thing. And then you're good to go, bro. We got fucking I got about 6 months out of the last batch, bro. I was able to stretch it out far. For sure.
Yeah, I've ran the super soil myself, but as a perpetual grower, I've had times where I actually gave up on it, to be honest with you, because I got ahead of myself and I got to a point where I got so far ahead of myself I had to dip into it. I burnt my plants and it kind of I spun out of control because like things went a little fast. I had a schedule there and I got into the hot shit. And
So I
then
got a
after that
backup
point,
for that.
I was behind. You know what I mean? So I had to do something. So I just switched to the cocoa, is what I did. Uh, so
I've
go ahead. I'm
definitely
sorry.
I've definitely run out like that too, man. Fucking because the super soul you gotta let sit 60 days, and sometimes you don't judge that shit right, bro. You don't make it soon. You still got half the month or fucking couple weeks left on it. I actually my fucking lifesaver instead of I'll do the same shit what you're just talking about, bro. The bio life, down to earth bio life. It's like crab meal, a whole bunch. It's like a super solo blend in itself. But you just sprinkle that shit in some normal bag soil. I've tested it. It is fucking the best shit besides my super soil. I always go to my super soil when I got it, but when I run low or if I need a top dress, I always go to this bio life. It's way easier. But I've ran a 10-gallon pot, normal bag soil, put 3 cups of BioLife in there, blend that shit up, put your plant in there. I had a pot go or a plant go more than 60 days. Fucking no yellowing. Mm, it was good. And it wasn't a heavy feeder though, so normal feeder. It ran 60 days in the butter. So BioLife it pulled through. It's nice. So that's my fail safe right there, bro. I don't like because you do run out, bro. I do it all the time. It happens.
It does. It just like in that instance for me, I didn't have the time. Uh, you know what I mean? It ran out and I got frustrated. And then I immediately switched over to the cocoa because obviously I had no more cooking.
Yeah.
And by that the time I was already swapped over. I had all the newts again. I was like, shit, might as well run. I might as well run out these newts, and I just kind of got locked back into the system. And but more and more as I go along, I realize, I'm a tired of dumping shit in my yard, and b I'm a little stupid that I could be going like a no-till route and just have a bed and constantly feed something good and quit, being so wasteful on the cocoa. And I went so far as to I love this cocoa right now. Let's see if I can spin around, grab a hand for this. Put this camera down.
What are you feeding?
Uh, I was feeding Blue Planet nutrients. Now I'm gonna switch over to a dry food. See that shit? That's my cocoa right there. And that shit, it's like fucking wood chips, man.
Is
I
it
don't run no perlite or, huh?
it looks dry.
Yeah. Well, right. Well, it's moist.
Okay.
She could be watered. She's she was just transplanted in there about a week, so she's not really feeding.
So you use
She's what?
straight
There's
cocoa.
water in there. Straight cocoa, no perlite, just that chunky shit right there, and nudes, bottled nudes.
I've seen some
And
good grows in Denver with that setup too. Cocoa and just some
it's
nudes.
so airy. It's the next best thing to hydroponics, I feel. Because it's quite airy. It's not never saturated. It's always you water it once a day. I usually water each one of these 10 gallons, get 3/4 of a gallon of water every day. And that seems to do them pretty well. Downside is, I go through like 40 gallons of water a day.
Oh, the glories. I went to I changed up my watering. I was just top watering super soil for the longest time ever, bro. Then last year, I believe, a little over a year now, I bought 4x4 trays and I just flood the trays and let the fabric pots just soak them up. Dude, explosive growth. Way more, dude. I think by the way that I was top watering, I was under watering these humongous 45 and 35 gallon pots.
I could believe that.
Yeah. I was always like, oh, these need this much water, and like, oh, they're heavy. I was underwatering them bitches compared to what they really could soak up. I didn't realize it until I started bottom watering, and it really improved the fucking growth. Like amazing. It blew me away.
So you kind of touched another point about the super soil. Why I had to give it up was I moved up here to northern Michigan, uh, northern Michigan. And
That's the
it fucking it snowed. It
in the
snowed today. It snowed today. It usually is fucking. Usually there's snow on the ground till right now. I swear to God, there's usually not till mid-May is usually when snow's done around here, and then in October it's back and it stays again until May. We had an early spring this year, but which again makes it super tough for me to stay ahead of the super soil game when I ain't got I don't I don't want to house it indoors and utilize more
that's a
valuable
bitch.
grow space or dry sprays. So I can't keep it outside because, like you said, the shit will freeze. So kind of locked into the cocoa right now until I switch over to like a no-till bed or. And I'm super thinking about it. Like one of these 4x4s, I think one of these next runs I'm gonna start and try to incorporate
I'm
living soil or no-till.
scared to run one indoors just because like bugs and stuff, and it's just like man, can I even pull it off? Just let
Yeah,
because no
it's
till you gotta like put in inputs in. And it's just oh no, man, sounds like a lot of work as opposed to what I my setup now is the minimal work. Man, I'm not hardly. I've got it dialed in. I'm hardly ever in the grow except for the moments I need to be, like leaf strips and throughout the parts of the grow.
you growing 100% indoors, or you got something going? Are
Yeah,
you
you
able to
can
grow outdoors?
just I have flower beds, really nice flower beds and shit set up. That's where all my super soil goes till they're filled up. But I just do vegetables out there because where I'm at, I'm still in like city limits type deal, and you can't fucking no outdoor growing at all. They used to, like back in the beginning, first year or two, you could grow, but then like 2017, dude, they changed shit and you can't grow outside no more. That's a big no-no.
That surprised me with that accent. It seems like I know we talked about how, briefly, how difficult small towns could be, especially when you're young. But, as you get older, that calling and being out there and doing what you want to do and a more peaceful setting kind of starts applying again. So with that accent, it makes me think, man, how's this guy back in the city, man?
It's been tough, bro.
Yeah, for some reason, I just see you on a fucking mountaintop and fucking doing whatever the fuck
We
you
get
want to
out
do,
often.
man.
We definitely take off often to the mountains. We got a nice little spot we can go hiking to the outback, take the pups out and stuff. But yeah, man, I do miss the mountains. We're kind of me and the girlfriends or girlfriend. I was talking about girlfriends. We were talking about what we gonna do, man? We gonna stay in the city? What's going on while we here? We should get out. We should try to move. I need to get out to the mountains or something, man. I really hate being in the city. Because
Well, I tell you, it's time. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
it's just I hate living close to people, man. Like I can leave my fucking front window open. I can hear the neighbors across the street, a house down, big fighting over the fucking lasagna and shit. And like, or just it's just so close you can hear everybody. So like, you can't just talk freely in your backyard, dude, about fucking blasting out on fucking DMT or something like that. Some neighbor might hear you and be all crazy. Some people talk loud and shit. And you can hear everybody in their backyards, man. It's pretty wild thing because everybody thinks they're private and stuff. My neighbors are cool and shit, but it's just a privacy thing, dude. It's like you can hear people talking when they're just hanging out.
I know, and that sucks, man. It does. I've always been somewhat in the country, but not this country. I mean, I've been in the fucking middle of nowhere currently. But, and it took some getting used to it. I hate these long winters and shit, but when it come down to this, current weird bullshit with this virus, floating around, it's kind of nice being away from everybody. I've been, I got my garden, I got some food, I got fucking toilet paper. I'm cool, man. I ain't gotta go fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with not seeing, I'm cool. But
This is the
I don't
longest
know,
time
man.
I've ever lived in this. This is actually the biggest city I've ever lived in, and the longest time I've ever been
For
in it.
somebody that like you said that self that says they have a little bit of tough time with some anxiety, it would seem like it would be even worse setting for you, brother. Especially like you say, you can hear all them negative inputs. You know what I mean? And when you even around that negative bullshit, it's really tough to you're sucking it up, man. We're magnets for that shit. Negativity loves company, and
Definitely,
it transfers easy. So
it really does,
that's
man.
another reason why,
I feel like suck is
sounds like you need to get the hell on that
microdoses.
mountain.
That. The microdose of getting out to the fucking mountains help, dude. Like it's being able to take a step back and see it from a different perspective. Than I guess your daily life, you just fucking boom, 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 hitting shit, hitting walls, fucking just grinding gears, fucking going through your days. And the microdose, dude, just stops all that, lubes up every fucking thing, and just take a step back, man, reassess. And some things that are fucking on your mind that have been worrying you are probably not the most important thing, and the worry will go away. Or at least maybe something will come of the how, hey, let's solve this worry so it's not on my mind no more, and making moves to solve shit instead of like dwelling upon them, sitting on the couch watching TV, dwelling on your problems. Take a micro dose and fucking solve that problem by being proactive. I
I
love
think,
it.
like you said, it just allows your mind to ease long enough to come up with a clear insight. I
Yeah,
know in my
it gives you
when
direct.
there's tons of shit bouncing around, it's hard to focus on what you actually need to do. So if you can clear that out, calm and be able to
That's the best way I can
concentrate on
describe
that.
it.
Act like
For me, I was just like grinding gears, like my fucking, just fucking, just grinding gears all day, trying to get fucking shit done, you know, struggling, like having issues. Okay, this isn't going right, getting angry. The microdose in that same situation, it just fucking, hey, everything's cool. We're rolling it through. Everything's happy. You know, nothing's fucking. I don't know, man. I think it's the limitless pill in itself if it's used properly, and it's a tool. You know, you can use a hammer many different fucking ways. Some are good, some are bad. You know, you can kill somebody with a hammer. You can build a fucking house. Like how you
it's
want
a
to use.
fucking beautiful day. You know, I never thought we'd be this in this day and age with cannabis, and luckily we have a few states like Colorado that are opening up their minds and noticing that there is some additional medicinal effects with psilocybin and allowing testing. Opening some doors. It's
Even
hopefully a bright new day. We can get away from all this
these-
man-made medicine because that shit's horrible. It is.
get away from
We
all that.
lived just fine before the witch doctors came to town.
It's not just
You asked me, the pharmaceutical companies are the true witch doctors. You know what I
they
mean?
are.
They're mixing up their potions and fucking, here you go. We're just kind of going, look, this is the one. Now, which one of us is the witch doctor? You know what I'm saying? I would have to say it's the pharmaceutical company, 100%.
Definitely, man. All mushrooms heal too, man. I've been taking lion's mane with I got Stamets 7, so it has like a reishi, and I've been taking turkey tails and cordyceps. All those different types of gourmet mushrooms that they got going on, those target different parts of your body too that are super beneficial. Lion's mane, dude, it just is neuro regenerative, and dude, you feel that when you take your first capsule of lion's mane. And it's not a trippy mushroom, dude. It's not gonna make you wig out, but you feel your brain like in a better state for sure. Something's happening. You ever tried any of those like
Sure.
turkey tails or lion's mane or anything?
I've tried some of the lion's mane, but I've never tried the turkey tails. So, how many different species of mushrooms are there, all in all? And how many of those, I guess, are edible, and how many of those are, have some psychoactive effects? Do you know those some kind of numbers like that?
There's so many you couldn't even put a number on. There's millions, and there's still being mushrooms discovered today. So there's no really number of how many are actually psychoactive either. There's just ways of identifying them and telling. It's hard to put a number, I would say, on how many is out there. But I don't know. There's so many, like that's why I wish I would lived up a little bit in Washington. That's where like the old growth forest is. And that's where I guess there's all these mushrooms that are popping up that are being discovered. You can find new species and do varieties of mushrooms. And they're always getting psychoactive ones up there too, man. That where'd they come from? Nobody knows.
So, how many psychoactive mushrooms have you tried, and which one would be your favorite?
So I've got about on breakthrough trips, I've got about 4 of them. I want to say Honduras is my favorite right now. I'm not on the breakthrough trips, so I feel like they're all almost equal, as opposed to like if you take 3 grams of Honduras, it will be different than if you take 3 grams of penis envy. Those two doses will be different. But if you took 15 grams of Honduras and you took 15 grams of penis envy, those two trips could be very similar. Although the only thing different would be the difference in the trips. I've never had the same trip twice on any type of psychedelic. Everything's always been pretty much different every time. So I feel like you come out with something different every time. But yeah, I like Honduras's, bro. They're nice, tall little fingers. Yeah.
Nice. Um, Dr. Danstein says a friend of mine gives my mom lion's mane to fight her Alzheimer's. He says it's made a noticeable improvement.
Definitely. I would like to have been around my grandmother when she was dying in Florida of Alzheimer's. I would have gave her lion's mane to see if it would have improved her days before her death, but I was never around for that. But yeah, I feel like there's benefits to that as well with old people. Especially, okay, so Alzheimer's is good for like the lion's mane and stuff. I feel like these small doses of psilocybin will help people terminally ill. Say you're struggling, you're diagnosed with cancer, you got 6 months to live or something. That's a hard time, I feel, for somebody to accept, especially if they've been like maybe religious or something their whole life. But that's something I feel like they would fight and struggle with until they die. But one session of psilocybin and a certain the right protocols, how I described it earlier in the show, things in play, I think that would make them more accepting to like their death and what's going to happen, as opposed to the struggle. I could see that being a lot for people. I don't know if you've ever seen,
Some eat. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if you've ever seen anybody die or anything like with the terminal illness or something. I feel like they struggle.
It's terrible to sit back and watch, that's for sure. Um, are some easier to grow? Are some easier to grow than others, cultivate than others?
Around the board, I feel like once you get like the little method down, it should be fine. Yeah. I think it's just times. Some might take longer than others to happen. Some varieties take longer to cultivate. The gourmet
So,
ones take off pretty quickly, like oysters and stuff. Those will take off super fucking fast.
let's go down. Let's go down this route. Let's say you're having that beautiful day and you've loaded up your bag and you're fucking big fat fatty and you're having an awesome day and you're walking through the woods there. Where would you look for some fun stuff, and if you were willing to look, and how would you find some? If
So
you were knowledgeable enough to identify it, where would you look?
there's the only ones out here in Colorado that I'm aware of would be like the Amanitas, Muscarias, the Christmas tree ones. And they'll grow around conifer trees and whatnot. Telluride is a big place. They have a mushroom festival every year on Telluride. And that's where they do mushroom hunts and stuff, and people can find mushrooms and people identify them for them. I'm not a really big I can't really identify too many mushrooms outside in the nature, and I wouldn't I wouldn't risk my life on eating them, except for like the common ones. The Amanitas, you can pretty much see a picture or Amanita out in the wild and say that is the Amanita. It's very distinct with its red dots and stuff, or the white dots on the red cap. But other than that, dude, yeah, I wouldn't recommend picking wild ones unless I think if you're with a mycologist that knows what's up and he identified that mushroom and said it's okay to eat, I'd feel safe. But I'm not going to sit there and say, I might eat that, I might not. Because I've never seen psilocybin in the wild either. I've seen Pinellia sciences, which are a little different variety of like psilocybin, or they have, Can't remember what they have in them. I don't know if they have psilocybin. It's a different compound within them. They make you trip too, but
What's the one in Alice in Wonderland, the red one with the white spots? That's
that's the
a
Amanita.
psychoactive one, is it?
That's definitely
Salmonita.
Amanita. That's what I got a religion book back here. It's about the Santa Claus, the Siberian Santa Claus. So the reindeer of Siberia and these shamans would eat these mushrooms. And that's how the story of Santa Claus came. And there's like, man, there's so many little artifacts about it, like how he came down the chimney was one. That's how they would come in inside. The shamans would come in and out their house because of the snow was so packed up on the doors and the windows. So they used the chimney to come in and out. And that's where you get the story of Santa Claus and the red and white suit he wears. And the reindeer that they have up there, it's the ones that they will actually knock you down to drink your piss. These reindeer. It's pretty fantastic story, man.
It is pretty cool. Sounds cool. Dr. Danstein has a question for you. He says, Tanasi, have you tried Amanita? Sorry if you have already answered it in it. It's like,
I have not. I haven't ever found a red one myself wild. I've only found, so I'll tell you a story. So I was going to once. I went to visit Dirtman Dan, ironically, out in Philadelphia, or Pennsylvania. They have in all their parks and shit, they have fucking fields of mushrooms that just pop up on their little nature trails. It's kind of like what I've been told about Washington and the old growth forest. So I go out there, not even like an hour on the ground. He takes me to this little dirt road, and I'm like, hold up, stop. And I run over there, and there's these yellow capped amanitas. So instead of having the red cap, it was yellow, real bright, and it had the white dots on it. Same structure, everything. The only thing different was it was yellow. So I picked up a bunch of those and brought them back here. And then we had a group. We are going to do a ceremony for December 22nd, the equinox. Then, so we are going to eat those amanitas. And then the people are with, I guess what they would be what I would be like, they've never seen the yellow one before, and they didn't know their knowledge about mushrooms. And so they got scared to eat them. So we never ate those. Ended up eating some like penis envies that we had got from you know, and yeah, we all had a breakthrough trip on penis envies instead of amanitas. But we never did eat the amanitas. It's a it's a
there.
different trip for sure. I don't know if I would want to. I hear it's very brutal. Very brutal.
Yeah, I I haven't taken it myself, but I'm curious. It's a lot more psychoactive, isn't it? To the hallucinogen side, not just in your head, but more into the hallucinogen side of the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Correct.
One of my most brutalest trips, man. So there's a peyote church down in Arizona. It's the Peyote Way Church. You can contact them and have a spirit walk where you go down there, you'll fast for 24 hours. They'll give you 21 grams of peyote in a brew. And then you have this little campsite. They have a little lodging spot where you'll spend pretty much all your time there until you go to do your brew. And they have like little walk paths to get to these campsites where you can set up. And you take your little 21-gram brew of peyote out there by yourself and drink it by a fire. And dude, that was the most introspective, brutal trip of my life. Physically, for me, I didn't have like no peyote like breakthrough. I see all these like colors and art and visions. It was like completely physical for me. I was like colder than cold, sleeping bags inside like sweats I had sweats on and sleeping bag around a fire, and I could not get warm, dude. It was hard to take a piss and everything. Blurry eyes. I couldn't, like, watery eyes the whole time. But I don't know, man. Coyote in the desert. It's not. I want to do it again because I feel like
Oh, that sucks.
you learn
I'm
something.
interested. I need to get the fuck out of Michigan and do some more traveling. 'Cause we ain't got cool shit like that in Michigan. I don't even know where you'd even begin to look for something like that around here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, an army buddy had gave
But
me this website, and I went to this website and wrote this church. It's a peyote church in Arizona that you can actually join and get a card and stuff. And I joined it for that, like, the year and that summer. I did it in May, about what, 4 years ago now. And dude, it was something to see for sure. And I wanted to. Oh no, there's something about that too. Even though it was a bad trip and it wasn't like fucking happy rainbows and fucking smiles, I feel like it was still good. It was something that my body needed, you know. It wasn't a bad thing. It was still good work, I feel like. That's all the plant medicine. It's just like it just does good work, on your bodies, mental, all of it.
the chemicals match up. All right. Have you ever taken like a THC like trip or a nice ride? Have you ever ate a large amount of edibles? Took
So
a ride
I've
like
attempted
that?
that. So at the Indo Expo a couple of years ago, I'd made these muffins, right? And this guy was an investor for somebody from like Saudi Arabia at one of the booths that we were hanging out at. And I laid the muffin there, and he said he'd eat it later. And we'd walked away. Me and Dirtman Dan done ate too that morning. Well, this guy from Saudi Arabia eats this muffin. And I hear people do this all the time. They like have a psychedelic trip and like visuals, and like he is tripping so hard, he has to be escorted back to the hotel. And they're talking like he's talking about like fucking talking to a dragon, and he's in La La Land, and they had to like just keep him in the hotel. He's just talking nonsense. And I'm like, so how do you do that? And I've never been able to, I've eaten a shit ton of edibles, bro, and I've never seen that. So I've tried up to 3 grams of RSO, man. And I didn't have no psychedelic adventure. I just was like comatose zombie fucking for 3 days. I like wanted to sleep. It wasn't no psychedelic. I
Oh,
think
I've seen.
psychedelics just for certain people. Does that happen for you?
I have had a nice ride myself, and I don't know if it was like a multi-day, because edibles can hang out in your system for a minute. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Especially if it's a multiple day type thing. So the night before this experience, I fucking made the butter itself, okay, and it was a super strong butter. If I remember right, it was like 10 grams of some killer bud per stick of butter. So it was, good, nice, strong butter, strong butter. I didn't dilute it at all, like I would normally do when I make butter. I like to make a strong butter and then kind of use it, half, more concentrated version of it with more real butter. That way you get rid of the little less weedy taste, but you're
Yep.
still getting more of the effect.
That's what my
So
last batch
I
was.
did. I didn't do that. It was like young in my edible making phase, and I wasn't keen to realizing that it was going to soak in my skin. And again, I'm making this butter for personal use. I'm not like passing this out. It's just making super strong fucking butter for myself for a bunch of edibles. So I make the butter, and I'm using a cheesecloth bag at the time, or what I made had it all in cheesecloth, and I'm just squeezing the fuck out of this bag, just barehanded, fucking just butter right between the fingers, just fucking running down my fucking wrist and shit. So it's just soaking right into my skin the first time, you know. I'm getting a good dose, you know, and then I fucking come home and then I make some cookies, you know, but I don't dilute it like I just said I did. I just fucking okay, this much, boom, and even went heavy on it. So I make up a batch of cookies, and they're mint chip cookies. Which, by the way, mint chips hide that marijuana taste a lot, almost all of it, 100%. So I make up some cookies, and I'm fucking eating one. I'm like, God damn, these are good, man. These are fucking like Thin Mint cookies from the Girl Scout cookies. You know what I mean? Real similar. So the next thing I know, I'm powered 8 through like probably 6 or 7 cookies, just because they were good. And, you know, I couldn't taste it, and it was just. So I power eat them fucking things. Fucking. I realized about out of the 6-7 cookie, I'm like, oh fuck, you know. Oh man, I realized I kind of probably fucked myself a little bit. So I smoke one, and I fucking end up the joint makes me fucking tired. So I fucking I fucking go lay down for about an hour, and I get up, man. I am noticeably fucked up when I wake up. I just wake up and I just feel like my fucking head's like floating above me and shit. Like I'm almost like looking down on me. It's like so surreal kind of fucking. So I fucking thinking, man, I gotta fucking try to shake this off. So I fucking I decide I gotta fucking take a shower. I gotta try to shake this shit off. So I fucking go in the shower and I fucking in there, and for some reason I couldn't help but think of that fucking scene in Young Guns where they're taking the peyote in the fucking in the desert there. And they're like, have you seen that chicken? And I just fucking couldn't get it out of my head, man. And I'm fucking just fucking laughing, man. I am fucking just tears running down my fucking face, man. I am in the fucking moment. And I'm upstairs, all right, in a fucking 2-story house. And fucking kids come upstairs and they're like, are you all right, man? I'm like, fucking, fucking, yeah, I'm all right, fucking, but. You know, my kids are older, by the way. So this is, you know, it's they're 20. So it's not like they're young or nothing. They're like, yeah. I'm like, man, it's some fucking cookies, man. I got fucking deep into them cookies. I couldn't even explain it. I was just fucking, it was a good time, man. And that lasted for, you know, I'd say like 4 hours. That belly laugh and smile. It's been a while since I had a good belly laugh like that. So I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I'd try to get back there again on edibles.
That's fun. My go-to for sleep aids, man. When I can't sleep and shit, dude, I got a fucking stack of cookies in there and do the same shit you do, bro. I got fucking full throttle where you got to use all THC butter in the batch, or you just use half. I use it all, dude. On these ones, dude. I know this is the one for bed. I know I can eat 5 or 6 of those cookies, bro, and I'm fucking wow. I'm gonna get 8 hours solid, dude, for sure.
Speaking of kids, there's one right there in chat. Hi, Courtney. I love you, honey. Popping up just when I'm happen to be telling them. Welcome to the story. Love you, honey. Hope you just popped in. Just have to. That's funny. It's real life shit, though. Live.
Well, that's
so
about
what's
it.
in store with Tanasi?
What's that?
What do you got going? What's in store for you? What do you got going besides the mushroom kids? You got anything else in store for you on the horizon? So of course you got racing or games at 9 o'clock, correct?
Oh, you broke up on the last part of that one. What was the last part?
It's you've got of course embracing organics every night
yes.
or every Thursday at 9, correct?
Yes. Embracing Organics on every Thursday at 9. on YouTube. Sorry for that. You broke up on the last part, but everything else was clear. Then nothing else for Tanasi, man. I'm gonna be entering in the DGC Cup if that shit ever pops off, bro. Depends on what all this no event status is in July. And right now I think they moved it back to July 18th to enter in that cup in Denver. But other than that, man, you got the Embracing Organic show. You can check me out there. I'm on Instagram, Tanasi Gardens. I put up bud shots, some porn shots, and tell you how I grew it and some super soul and whatnot. Hit me up if you want the recipe, bro, on any of those social medias, and I'll send you a verbatim copy for sure anybody wants it. Then Sacred 3 mushrooms, man, 10% off if you use Eagles. Eagle, not Eagles, my bad.
Eagle.
Boom, grow you some gourmet
Appreciate
mushrooms. Get you some pink oysters. I got some pink oysters in the kitchen right now, dude, on its second flush. So when you eat a steak or maybe you got a burger going down, take some of those. I got them in a little bag dried out. Chop them up in a skillet, flay them up, fucking some salt, butter. Dude, it's like this delicate piece of bacon. It's something to have for sure. So everybody needs some gourmet mushrooms in the kitchen.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Especially if you give them a discount code Eagle on your website. That's super awesome. I appreciate that shit.
Hell yeah, I'll stay up,
Well,
man.
buddy, yeah.
That's about it for me, man. Not too much going on. Check us out on the EO show.
Let's. Anybody have any questions that's in chat? Still got 36 watching. I got him on here. I'm sure he'd answer some questions.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna fucking roll a fatty and
everybody needs to smoke
get
some.
tweaked up again. Hell yeah. What are you smoking on in chat there? Love the super soil recipe. Yeah. What do you think about? Have you seen like the CO2 bags where? Isn't it like an oyster mushroom they use in that as well to
I've
create the CO2 in there?
I've never seen a mushroom come off though, so I'm not sure what mycelium it is that's in that bag. And if I'm, I
I
remember
I
looking
believe it's an
online.
oyster mushroom. There's a guy here in Michigan that makes them by the name of These Bags, and I believe it's an oyster mushroom that
Uh,
sprouts in them bags. And I think actually Kenna Kate, who's also on the Michigan Bros Grow Show on Sunday nights there, just posted one that had popped out of like one of the older bags. That thing was like that fucking big. But yeah, it's just weird how you can even utilize a mushroom like that in your grow room. And is that something that you've ever thought about? Like, I mean,
I've had the
how
bags in the
much would I
past,
guess?
for sure.
How much would you need to utilize or actually make a use noticeable amount of CO2?
So the biggest thing about mushrooms and doing them in totes is going to be air exchange or like intense. If you grow them in like house fantastic fungi or funky fungi, that lady, she grows intense or something like that. It's all about sucking out that CO2 and putting in fresh air constantly. So they do put off a lot, and it's going to be in the different stages of it too. So once they start producing more of a pin and giving you the mushrooms, there's not as much CO2 emitting as when that dude's colonizing and that cake's building up. But it
Is
has
there
to
like a certain light cycle for mushrooms?
um 1212 is what I got it. But the one in the windowsill, I mean, what's the light cycle now? We're at freaking 1213 right now. It's the light cycle. We're vegging right now, so it has to be around 13 on I think on the windowsill. So
I
1212.
might have misspoke.
1212 is to go
Nutrient
to.
shout out says it's blue oyster mushroom bloom. What the hell is that?
So I hear blue oysters will put off a shit ton of spores. That's the thing. So if you're growing like a bunch of fucking mushrooms in a room, there's a thing called spore lung. And if you you need to have that air like getting out, exhausting out somewhere. Because if you're in there breathing in all that spores and shit, bro, it could be bad for your health.
Good to know. Good to know. Chopping up some Challenger Deep for the second round. That's pretty good. So, what's the favorite strain you've ran so far out of your growing career? I know that's a corny question that everybody asks, but it's one of the things everybody wants to know. You know what I mean?
Budweiser, man, I got my keeper sweet tea and um Mendo dope for sure, and the Doctor Who. That's some fucking shit I'll never get rid of. But I don't know. I don't grow that much mushrooms, except for I'm playing around with those gourmets, man. That's where my thing is these days. Is the kits, the knowledge, get those out there. And if you watch a bunch of these like funky fungi is the ones I go to. She's like literally doing what we're doing with weed. Like how you got your tents back there. She's got just rails or like shelves for these bags of oysters, like the blue oysters the guy just said in the chat, black oyster, king oyster. She's just got different types of gourmet mushrooms that she harvests, and then she sells down at the local restaurants and stuff that need them. So I'm into like trying to progress into that
Is there?
way.
Can you supplement an income like that? I mean, how can you produce them fast enough to where you could actually approach a nearby restaurant? Okay,
Yeah, if you got your cycle down,
that's
just like how you got your weed down with your veg plants, and then as soon as your bud room's done, you already got your veg done, ready to go in. If you got it set up in a cycle like that, yeah, you can produce weekly amounts of mushrooms, and a lion's mane can go for $10 a mushroom.
really.
Yeah, and if you
Hmm.
have a whole shelf of those, I'd say, man, you could produce a lot, like pounds, probably ungodly amounts that you ever thought. Because, like, so here's the way I go off of it: the oysters, my pink oysters that I did. My first flush, I got 37 grams off the first flush. Now, the first flush, that's just one little area, like a little tiny kit. That's not like a big fucking thing that's going to give you more and more every time. But it could get up there, man. Same like how some people are doing like their whole quarter acre of their backyard for like gardening. They have vegetables and stuff, and they're making $100,000 a year. Those dudes are on YouTube. You can watch those videos. People making just growing vegetables in their backyard, $100,000 a year on just a quarter lot in the city. But the same with the mushroom, man. They are fucking knocking it out the park. These little mushroom kits are.
They kind of replenish themselves as you harvest them. Does the spores drop back down and kind of, you know,
You'll
create
get
that life cycle?
you get so many flushes because there's so much nutrients in that block. So you're going to get so many flushes in your first one. From what I've noticed, you don't get as much on the second and third flushes, but the ones that come are bigger. You get bigger mushrooms. And it's just a matter of time till that guy gets contaminated, and it's not going to really just do any much. You just want to throw it out. But you can get 3 flushes out of it. Each little block it's like a 5 pound block of sawdust. Yeah. I'm intrigued by it, dude. It's cool to have a little
Sounds
tent full
interesting.
of gourmet mushrooms popping everywhere and seeing how that works. Because I've never grown a whole bunch of mushrooms, man. This is kind of a new adventure for myself as well, dude. You know,
It's a
trying to
neat
see.
adventure. I mean,
Yeah,
we've got room and space. Why not, fart around with, they're very nutritious. Why not have some on hand? Everybody
yeah.
loves to. I love
My area is
psychedelics.
small too. I just got a 2x4 tent. They'll set up with the wire shelf in it. So it's not even big at all. It's because behind a little area. And dude, I'm loving the fucking oysters, bro. But them shits is fishy. Your whole motherfucking area or basement or whatever you got them in is gonna smell like a fucking fish factory. It is
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, what the fuck, bro? It's fishy. But
Now, is that something that you could break up and throw in your compost pile, or break it up and maybe
hell
introduce
yeah.
it into your plant?
Hell yeah. So when you bring it indoors, it's a sterile environment, it gets contaminated super easy. But if you take that fucking brick or sawdust of some moistures and throw it out in your flower beds or bust it up with some other mulch and stuff, or in a tree, I think it'll grow better on trees, like rotten trees and stuff. You can inoculate those with, or let's let it sit around it. Nature seems to take care of everything. Although it's contaminated inside your fucking grow and whatnot, throwing it out in your fucking woods, it fucking nature takes care of it, and it does its thing outside. It's pretty magical to see that as well. Because inside it gets on that, you get trichoderma and shit on that stuff. It just it gets it'll make you sick too. I've uh I've gone on vacation and come home and had some like little Tupperware things of some little different little myceliums growing, and they had just gotten black, right? And I like had opened that shit up to look and just thinking it was going to be okay instead of doing it cautiously. Bro, I got sick for 2 days where my fucking kidneys hurt, bro. I couldn't get off the couch. My entire body was just like in pain. And I was just like, just curled up for 2 days, fucking hurting. And it wasn't the sickness either. It's like I breathed in some bad spores. That's what happened. That shit can hurt you.
That don't sound fun. Sounds fun at all. Yeah, this COVID shit's fucking killing my tolerance, man. I just been locked in, just fucking chiefing joints, fucking like crazy, man. Big old fatties. My tolerance is just over through the roof right now. Sad thing about it is I don't even want to fucking like take a tolerance break. I just keep chiefing down. You know what I did? I was talking about this on the other day. Is I've decided, since I've wasted so much time smoking and I'm stuck here at home, like the morning routine, it got to be like that morning joint and a cup of coffee. Then it's like 2 morning joints and a cup of coffee. Now it's like 3 morning joints and a cup of coffee. But now I'm like, man, I've got about 45 minutes into this. So now I just fucking pull up the fucking exercise bike and I sit there and just fucking chief joints while I'm fucking ready to smoke, while I'm drinking my coffee and shit. So fucking
Gotta have that.
try to get a little exercise.
Yeah, you gotta have a morning wake up ritual. You know what I'm saying?
Right on. A little healthy way, anyway. Well, man, I know you got shit to do and it's late. And I appreciate your time, man. It's been super cool for you to pop in as long as you have. I mean, fuck, 2 hours, 15 minutes. We've
Hell
been
yeah,
rolling
man.
now. And
Hope I got
shit,
some
there's
good
nothing to
good
think
word
about
out
that.
there. Hope I got some good word out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit
Yes,
me up
sir.
on the IG
I
if
know.
you guys got questions about psychedelics, man. I'll try to help you out. Some
Please
therapy.
do. I know I've enjoyed sitting here talking to you. It's been a lot of fun. I've looked forward to this for a long time. It would all be better if I would have been at one of these events that we're hopefully be able to get back to having. We could have fucking smoked down and share
Yeah.
some dabs and all that good shit again. But this will do for now, my friend. Oh, Tanasi, I have 5 more minutes of your time, brother.
Yeah, man.
5 more minutes of your time. Because I
Yeah.
want to explain something to you and maybe ask you for another favor. On the air and on the spot. How you like that shit? There's 2 things I want for you, brother.
Okay.
2 things. 2 One is a fucking soundbite. I ask everybody for it because sooner or later these shows are piling up, and if I get to like 50, I might like do one of the like radio soundbite type shit things.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So where are you tonight, and what the fuck are you doing?
Oh man, we're out here in Denver. It is now 11:38, hanging out with my boy Eagle, bro. And we're just,
What are you doing though? What's the name of this fucking show? What are you doing?
this is the psychedelic talk. We're diving deep into the psyche of each and every one, and we're going to share and spread the knowledge of what the sacred mushrooms can do.
On the fucking talking shit with Eagle show. That's the part of that I was like, I was
Oh,
trying to get to
yeah.
everybody to at least throw that. I'm on the fucking talking shit with Eagle show. Give me that one.
Dude, I'm a shitbag, man. Let me so I'm on the now you put me on the spot, dude. Now you got me. All
I
right.
do it to everybody. Don't feel bad. This happens every night.
Talking shit with Eagle. How is it talking shit with
I'll
Eagle?
take it.
See, I'm
Fucking
looking at
talking shit with Eagle.
I'm looking at the bottom of the Zoom, and it's not what that says, but fucking talking shit with Eagle, yo.
That's because I had to kill that first go live attempt, and it just fucking wouldn't let me take the title, so I just went live. I'll fix it after the show.
Here we are.
I appreciate that. Secondly, I want to tell you about something and ask you about your time, and maybe if you have some time on this particular day, you want to donate. What we're doing here on the channel on 420. Smiley Gardens on one of the late night bonus sessions. Usually, like after you like yourself checks off, I'll maybe check somebody in from the chat there and let them talk shit with me. And the other night we joined like four of us together, and Smiley came up with a great idea to do on 420, and that's we're gonna do a 24-hour marathon here on 420, and we kind of I've got a charity in mind, which is fuck cancer. It's just a matter of which branch we're going to ask everybody to donate to all day long. And I have, a bunch of people like yourself, hopefully, that are coming on periodically during the day, and we're talking shit. But it's going to start at 11:30 on 11:19, and it's going to go 24 hours, possibly into the 11:21 show. You know what I'm saying? That night of 420. So it'll take me into the next day, that show. You know what I'm saying? It'll probably be better than 24 hours. But in that time, we're going to go 24 live, constant. And in this effort, we're trying to hope to show that we can celebrate this, stoner holiday, if you will, and do something positive about it, and gather up and, ask somebody to do, pick a charity. We're not handling the money here, ourselves. I'm just going to ask, like I said, we're going to pick a charity, and we're going to ask everybody to donate to that PayPal or whatever that link is. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to ask them to, tell us exactly what we did. And but we were trying to do something positive, and so far, we've got some cool motherfuckers coming on. Lost Leaf said he'd come on. The Broly's offered up some time of his. Med Grower 1 will smooth it out through the day. Pedro said he'd pop in at one point, and we've got a lot of other guests. The point, I guess, the object of it is we're going to try to stream 3 people at a time and carry on a casual conversation, grow related, casual. I don't give a shit what we're talking about, to be honest with you. But and then so it'll like be me and you, and then we're gonna have like somebody else come in mid conversation to kind of like re-spark it up. You know what I mean? So there'll be 3 with staggered intervals of people coming in, just try to keep it fresh. But if you're interested,
You're just gonna limit to a few people. You ain't gonna have like 8 people on
yeah,
it.
just fuck no, it's just gonna be like 3 people, so we can keep it like a banner like this, and maybe one more, and just have a more of a casual chat. No like bubble man shit where we have 39 people on at once. No, it's gonna be more of a staggered. That's the kind of the point of having somebody come in like mid conversation, so you get like a new breath to the conversation. Somebody else kind of coming in. Hey, how you doing? Maybe some new
Makes sense. I
questions for
like that
you. Maybe some
format. That's a
questions
good
for you.
format. I dig it.
So,
Yeah,
would
I'm
you
sure
be
I can show up.
interested in something like that? Maybe stopping in for an hour, right, or something like that on 420. You know, you look at your schedule and just get back to me and say, "Hey, man, I can do from 4 to 5 or whatever," and I'll try to pencil you in with somebody, you know, just as cool as yourself. You know, somebody else that you
Cool,
may
cool. Yeah, we
pair
can work
well
out
with,
those
and
details. I'm sure I could stop in on the 420, man. That's easy. When you got shit going on with all
you
the
know, fucking do some
events
dabs for
closed.
charity and talk some shit. That'd be completely awesome, man. If you could find some time for that, I'd appreciate it. And like I said, it shows the community that we have a fucking heart. We're not just thinking about ourselves and getting high on that day. We're trying to do something right. So I'd appreciate it. I really would. So if you
Hell
could
yeah.
make some time.
Sounds like fun, bro. I'll be pleasures to be there.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, man.
And with that said, you have a great night, man. And I can't thank you enough for popping in. This has been totally awesome.
Thanks for having me and chat. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.
All right, peace, brother. Tanasi's Gardens. How awesome was that? I knew it was going to be a fun night, and I really enjoyed it. You know, I've enjoyed seeing him throughout the cannabis community through the years, and now hearing his story, I respect the man even more. So yeah, I knew I was going to have fun tonight, and it did not disappoint. So it is that portion of the show where somebody, if they'd like, would jump in. We got any volunteers tonight? I see Charlie's Farm, Smiley's Gardens. You want to jump in and talk about that event we were just talking about? That marathon, that charity marathon? Our 420, 24-hour talking shit marathon. Idea man, Smiley Gardens on that. You guys would like to jump in, I'll throw you some digits since I get this stupid phone to fire up. I invite you guys to roll one up, and while I'm trying to lay out some digits here and get ready for the next round, I'd appreciate that. Uh, in the meantime, why don't you shout out what you're smoking on and kind of raise your hand. Let's see who's left. See 32 watching. Let's see which 32 are still here. While I pull up this Instagram and try to pass out some numbers to some cool folks, see if they'll pop in and talk to me for a minute. I want to make sure and get these two gentlemen on, or at least give them first offers, because I wanted them to jump in yesterday, but unfortunately, my computer started acting up and they weren't able to pop in. Charlie says he's down. Smiley, you already got the digits. Sorry for the dead air. Dead air, dead air, dead air. I hate when I do that. I want sometimes forget that I've smoked a couple of joints and I'm live on the air while I'm trying to do something. Smiley says he'll be down in a few, so hell yeah. So I got my joint going. I have a couple of cool motherfuckers on their way. Nutrients. All right. Well, I'll shoot you the test soon there. Nutrients. Why not? A new face gets you to pop in. So we'll offer nutrient shootouts. Fucking pop in tonight. Boom. Nutrients, you have the number. So we got 3 offers out tonight. Hi, Stephanie. How you doing tonight? Watching my TV, but still here trimming away. Nice for you to pop in. Where are you guys at? Dr. Dane Steen, I appreciate you for dropping in. Oh, later, I appreciate you popping in. I really do. Let's roll through the chat here. Let's see. Rosicrucian Prophet, hello. Nice that you dropped in tonight. Jill Carter, of course. Nice seeing you as well. Southwest Okie. I recognize that name from Instagram. How you doing tonight? Glad you could pop in. What else? These cool motherfuckers we got here. Don't take that as bad way. We got Smiley popping in. Oh man, I missed my screen. There we go. Michelle F. Ibots, and I know I just screwed that up, but hello, how you doing? What's up, Smiley? Blanket, how you doing? Waltz, I know I just butchered that, but hello, how you doing? How you doing tonight, Smiley?
Good, man. Good. Fucking talking shit with Eagle. It's not that hard. Dude, that was great.
It's funny, dude.
Tanasi's awesome, dude.
I know.
That was cool. I got a lot more respect for him, too. That was pretty awesome to hear his story, all that.
I liked Lost Leaf the other night when I asked him, and he's like, kind of like, what else could I tell him? I'm fucking foliar feeding. I'm high. Like, no, man. I think it's funny though. I really appreciate them doing that, spitting it out. Someday or another, I'm gonna either do it myself or maybe somebody cool in chat could snag those up for me and loop them together.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
You never know.
Or something, you know?
Pretty cool though. He signed up for the 420 there.
Yeah, yeah.
I still gotta lock you in down for a time spot there. Well, I got you in front of me. Do you have a time your preference too? All right. You know what, Smiley? Are you open that day? Let's do this. This is what I want to know.
I can try to do it out of the time.
What is your like not available time? And let's go that route. Because
I just need like a
there's
5
some
hour
cool people.
either in the morning or afternoon. I need a 5 hour chunk to do my thing. But
Well, what I'm getting at here, brother, is since this is your idea, I want to make sure and place you in like a good spot.
stop.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, yeah. I really
So,
don't.
I don't have any. So I guess why I'm asking this because I want to put you in last, I guess, or closer to last. So after I get a good idea where everybody's at, then I can go. I want to put Smiley right there.
Yeah, do that. I'll play Phil in.
That's so far. Let me write this last one in here. So far, actually, there's another one I forgot to write. You ready for this last already? I was hoping to talk to you earlier in chat. What's up, Let It In, Tim? How you doing tonight? All right.
I'll
This is
fire out
who we've had. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to invite anybody else you want on this shit. So we have you. We have Red Setter Farms. We have Charlie's Farms. That he's right there actually, waiting for me to let him know. All right, Charlie's Farms said he'd donate some time to this. The American one said he'd throw in some time on this. Skillable one said he'd throw in his time. Sequence is going to throw some time in on this. We have Abolish Farms throwing in some time on this. Spartan Grown is throwing in time on this. Nutrient Shootouts, excuse me, is throwing in on this. Pagroli is thrown in on this. T-Dog is thrown in on this. Sonia Wait What, who was our guest last night, will be in on this. Med Grower 1 will be in on this some point of the day. Tanasi's Garden will be in on this. And Pedro said he would spend some point through the day. So we're doing pretty good so far, I think. So
Everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, man.
yes, sir.
Well,
How you
Smiley,
doing
good
tonight?
to see you.
Yeah,
It's fantastic. Fantastic. What a great show. What a great show. Tanasi. I've been following him for years, a couple years anyway. Great guy. It's good to see him.
He's a great guy for sure.
Yeah. You know, I didn't know much about him. What a great story he has. Great story. Good work he's doing too. When was the last time you guys indulged in shrooms? You don't mind me asking.
Tonight. Sorry about that, but yeah.
I got some in my freezer, but I haven't touched them for a while.
Careful the questions you ask.
Yeah, not trying to pry too much. I'm just organized, and I got to get some cloning done. Sonia was hot last night too. She was good.
Yeah, that was dropped a lot of great knowledge.
Yeah, she was impressive.
Super great. I knew she was so many credits to her. You know, the writer, artist, grower, trimmer, lab technician.
Yeah.
You know. I knew it was going to be a good interview. I was slightly intimidated, to be honest with you. It worked out. It was a good one.
Yeah, she knew her stuff, man. She was impressive. Smiley, the idea man. How you doing?
That's right, Smiley.
Good, man. I'm a little wore out. I've just been freaking trying to finish rotation, trimming, and popping and speak skipping. You know, usual.
Sure. Yep.
What we all sign up for, I guess.
That's right. Wouldn't want it any other way, right?
No, man, I ain't complaining. It's just.
Yeah, I always say that. I always sound like I'm bitching, but I'm really not. You know.
What you working on tonight, brother?
I was supposed to fill this cloner like 2 weeks ago, and I finally got around to it. It turned into my veg area for a minute, you know, and I let the pump go. So I just got a new pump from Easy Cloner off Amazon. So I'm gonna fire her up tonight. Excuse me, I'm gonna fire her up tonight, and then I have a backup. I got another 64 site that I have for a backup. It's still in the box. Haven't even opened it yet, but I double up my collars sometimes anyway. I'll put 2 cuts in a collar, no problem, you know. So just to save on space.
Let's welcome Nutrient Shootouts to the chat. His first time on fucking talking shit with Eco. Welcome. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm tired. I was just trying to see if this thing's gonna work. My internet's kind of slow, so got my nice mic set up, got my headphones, so seems like it's okay so far. Are you guys hearing me all right?
Sounds good.
Problems.
Okay. Nutrient. Cool. Pleasure, man.
Good.
Very cool to meet you, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys too. I've been busy in the gardens. Things are getting like close to halfway in flowering, so it's been pretty busy.
Yeah, I bet.
Tell us a little bit about it. Things are looking pretty good over there. In fact, why don't you go ahead and plug that shit? Tell everybody where to find you, about your series there.
You can actually get to all my social networks and the YouTube and everything through nutrientshootout.com. All my socials are on there. I have right now what was going to be my 12K HPS setup was going to be a 6-way powered shootout, but it was too much effort, so I just did a 4-strain Floorflex run. So we've got Galactic Jack, Monkey Mints, Primal Punch, the Lost Leaf F1, and Big Smooth from Exotic Genetics in there right now. So, and everything's coming along really, really nicely. It's just a pure cocoa and air pots. It's flood and drain. There's 6 4x8 flood and drain tables. with two big Raptor hoods above them per table, and then 100-gallon reservoirs. And it's in pure cocoa. We're using a whole lot of organically done 4X mycos in the soil just to give a rhizosphere and for the roots. And then we're using green microbiotics basically for the inoculant, and just Floraflex, no silica this round, no recharge, anything like that. And it's just killing it, just like it did the last time in the front of the barn, which is the photography studio. I had all the new Cultilux CMH hardware that I was testing for those guys, and doing the light meters and testing older ballasts to make sure the stuff would fire for them. And yeah, that GMO and that Zickies and stuff, that stuff is just incredible. So, and the Primal Punch F1. So yeah, everything's been running incredibly well. We're at 1,000 watts for each hood. What else can I say? We're hitting 77 degrees of lights on. We're trying to hit 65. Humidity, when the lights are off, we're going down as low as maybe 72, and we're only spiking to 71 humidity. But I have to go out there pretty much every day, and it's a pretty analog setup. If you look at my YouTube videos, I basically have filtered 2 and 8-inch fans pulling in air, and then I've got it going through carbon filters through the lights, through some ozone generators, and then out the building. So there's no smell, and I got variable speed controllers on the incoming air, outgoing air. I've got an old autopilot for my environmental controller, and I've got Z-Wave switches, Z-Wave outlets. Everything is Samsung SmartThings controlled. So all my watering, my extra air pumps, my extra heater, all that stuff is just plugging into the outlet and set it on your phone. And so if it seems like it's getting too hot, or I don't want the Sentinel, the environmental controller, to bring in too much air or anything, because maybe the humidity is spiking, I can just turn off the other space heater on my phone. So it's a really nice setup. It's a little different than what a lot of people do. You know, above the 12K, I have a 6K. Typically, it's metal halide set up in the old, they call them melon heads. They're really just cool tubes with the reflectors. But that's like a sub LVC 6K, where it's only like over like a 10 by 8 footprint. So it's a ton of light. But you put metal halides in there at 1100 watts per ballast, and it veggies like you wouldn't believe. And there's really no stretch because there's so much light intensity. So it really kills off the stretch, which is nice. You can make bushes. You can take the hedge trimmers to them, cut them down, and they'll recover in days. And they got stall mats up there. The website, the main picture that comes up on the website is actually like 3 years back grow of the upstairs 6K. And so yeah, the 12K flood and drain basically just feeds 4 times a week. 3.5 gallon air pots. I like the air pots because when you flood the table, you know, the density of the cocoa capillary action suck up all the water pretty much to the top, which is nice. So water's only this tall, the pot's this tall, but you still get full hydration. But the beauty of it is when the water recedes, the gravity pulls it out of the air pot, and since there's holes everywhere in the pot, the air comes in everywhere, and the roots are just explosive, and so the growth is explosive. And that's another reason why a lot of people, you know, recommend cocoa to be able to grow, you know, what people had to grow in 7-gallon root maker pots, they can now grow in 3.5 gallons. So less soil, and, you know, bigger plants, bigger buds, bigger yield. So I'm shooting to pull another 24 pounds minimum off of this, or two pounds per light, you know, off of HPS. It's pretty solid. So that's what we pulled the last time. Total harvest between the 48 plants in the barn and the LED stuff we had down here was over 40. So not too bad for 72 plant count. So in the basement now, I do have a 4-way loaded soil shootout. So I'm doing Dairy Dew against Detroit Nutrient Company's Just Add Water. The Dairy Dew is the veg mix because that was more recommended. And then I've got Bad Bunny Nutrients in pure cocoa, because I thought it'd be a little abstract. You know, everybody's going to probably run Bad Bunny in Pro Mix or some regular type of soil. So I wanted to do it in pure cocoa. And I have a 4x4 tent also just running pure cocoa as a control that's getting the rooted leaf nutrients, which is part of another featured two-way that I'm doing. And then I've got, which I think is the more exciting part, the Bad Bunny nutrients versus M3. Nikki has always grown with M3, always told me about it. I've always had a bag, never ran it. And of course, Spartan Grown, which I didn't know runs with it commercially. So, and yeah, it seems to do really well. I'm really impressed with the M3 so far. I just added the Papa's Poo, I think day 10 here in flower. So I just added it to really get that tea, but PK boost ready for the long haul. So, and yeah, they're coming along swimmingly throughout the whole veg and flower so far. The M3 has been the darkest, most nitrogen rich, bigger leaves, best expression, I think, all the way around. Bad Money did well. It seemed like it kept going deficient. These are also, so the tents are 4x8 tents, identical tents with identical LED lights. There's 3 lights a piece in each, and it's a total of about 1,000 watts in each tent with 2 oscillating fans, smaller fans. So it's a really duplicatable, identical shootout, and it's all 240 volt setup, and so everything is identical. The same 3.5 gallon air pots, and I would say for veg, the DNC and the Dairy Dude, weren't overly impressive, but they're definitely catching up here in flowering, and it's almost too hard to tell. So lab testing, I'm gonna do a Brix reading soon, and then microbiometer. I'm actually gonna do soil microbials to see what the preservation is like in microbials. They always get the same 1 gallon every other day, 1 gallon every other day of 6.2 pH water and Epsom salts, and that's it. I did one run of recharge just to put something different in there, give them some humics and fulvics, but basically they just are getting just that water. So, but the pinks and purples, I'm keeping the humidity upwards of like 80. So I watch my humidity in each tent and make sure that we're keeping the humidity like in the 70s and 80s, and the temperatures at like 82, because with purples, the leaf temp issue is definitely more prominent, and so you have to chase VPD with higher humidity, but there's again enough airflow that I don't have to worry about mold and mildew. They've all been IPM to Lost Coast like 4 times, so there's no bugs, there's no anything on them. So it's been a phenomenal growth so far. But yeah, a little bit higher leaf temperatures, so a little bit higher humidity throughout, and so I got to really watch that. But lots of Epsom salt. Like I learned that last year. My pheno hunt of 2019, 36 strains, lots of stuff ended up down here in the LED tents, and 3 leaf plants, stressed out, purple as hell. Like, so yeah, that whole higher leaf temperature, higher humidity, and then a lot of magnesium. So, but so far so good. Everything's looking great. I mean, I can't really get these things to not be purple, like the Floraflex out there in the 12K. We're still doing like 2 tablespoons per gallon out there in the 12K, but they seem to like it. Actually, I've been able to back off. Once I got into flowering, I've been trying to maintain 6.2 pH out there, and I've been actually able to back off down to about 1 tablespoon. They're not craving it nearly as much. And out there, we're day 20. Today would be what, day 26 now. So we're day 20. No, yeah, day 26 in flower. And yeah, they've stopped stretching and they're starting to stack like crazy. So yeah, everything's looking really good. The last YouTube video I put up, everybody's basically yelling at me to lollipop the lowers. So I've been trying to get out there, and I've got some of them done, but I got to get me and Nikki out there and lollipop those lowers. But a lot of airflow out there. The 12K is a nice setup. It's technically it's pretty old tech, but it works really well. I mean, it's worked incredibly well. I'm a big fan of flood and drain. I'm a full-time IT, and so I'm always always busy, and that kind of room is just like set it and forget it. A lot of spray foam, seal the walls, paint the floors every time. I mean, cleanliness. I was just on my hands and knees 2 days ago with a towel. You know, I scrub the floors. I keep that place real clean. And of course, I use ozonated water a lot, so I don't have to deal with any powdery mildew issues or anything to sterilize. So, and then you can spray it right on the plants, and there you go. I mean, so that's another little trick I do that I'm trying to get more people to know about, but haven't made that video yet. So I've got a little DIY ozone generator. I'm trying to put all the links together, and it's something people can build quickly to make ozonated water and get it in a sprayer and spray it wherever they need it for powdery mildew. But I'm waiting for some outdoor plants to actually get PM on them so I can close them all down and show that it actually works. So instead of you know, you're gonna spray something with water regardless on your plants, even if you're doing like wettable sulfur, why not just spray something that's going to kill everything? So not have to rinse it. So I've had good luck with ozone for a while. I just upgraded my whole water softener system to ozone, and so I'm using potassium chloride salt in a water softener with ozone front end, and it's gotten me down to less than like 100 ppm. And since it's not sodium, I don't have to worry about it, even if my reverse osmosis filters, you know, clog up. I don't have to worry about any extra sodium getting into my water. So yeah, a lot of little crazy stuff, but the 12K, but the 4K LED down here is basically kind of like Eagle. It's a tent city. I've got my DIY 5-puck grow mouse, I guess Gen 2 with the reds, that I built just basically using half-notched aluminum and made like a little hashtag checkerboard, and you hang it diagonally. It's 600 watt setup, so I'm pushing about 133 watts to each puck. I'm pushing them hard as hell. Those heat sinks are so big, you don't have to worry about it, and they do really well. Right, actually behind me, I've got my HLG QB288s with another 600 watt driver that I'm working on the same pretty much checkerboard design. I'm gonna put them 2x2 and just, you know, on the ends of a 4-foot aluminum bar and just cross them and then hang them diagonally the same way. So I might inset them by about 6 inches a piece. So I have to actually hang them and pull out my light meter. I've got a light meter and figure out exactly what the reflection is in the common tent, which I use my Vivo Sun tent. It's the most reflectability, but I figure out what the best light reflection and the most even light spread is going to be, and then I'll finally have that light built. So, and then yeah, I got more blurples here right now. That's holding the other shoot out I'm doing, which I have to film. It's been like 3 weeks since I did an update, but it's the Easy Swap pot versus Rapid Stack pot, and we're almost to the point of actual transplant. So I should be filming a transplant video within a few days with that, and then that's featuring the rooted leaf nutrients. And it says my connection's unstable, but it seems like it's working. So, and that's featuring the rooted leaf nutrients. So it's a pretty good nutrient line so far from what I've seen. But it's one of those that you gotta mix it, feed right then and there, because it'll kind of go a little weird on you if you try to let it set in a reservoir. Likes to become a little microbial, too active, and then consume itself. But and then yeah, in that same tent, I've got 12 strains that I was pheno hunting January 1st. Panama Kush that I got from Spanibus. Bunch of Bruce Spanners from Dark Horse Genetics I got popped. I've got a bunch of grease monkeys, which I just went and veg sexed them all. And I've pulled out 4 male grease monkeys so far. Way more than anything else. I've got Goliath Growers or Twisted Roots, mac and cheese, mac and berries popped. Shit. I got Doji from Ocean Grown Seeds. What else do I
I want to
got?
give a shout out to my daughter
Oh.
Alexis here that's in chat, man. What's up, Lexi? How you doing, baby girl?
I'm not even looking at
show my
chat.
kids some love, man. My baby, gotta stay high. So, what you smoking on over there, Charlie? I fucking see you rolling, breaking some shit up. What are you breaking up over there, brother?
Yeah, my blueberry fuel. It's I sifted this years ago. It must be at least 7 years now. A friend of mine, his company is Sour Seed Co. Out of Colorado, and when he first moved out there, must have been about 6, 7 years now. He sent me a bunch of packs to try, and he was pretty well established in his own right. But so he got this. He got this. He got the number 8 OG, the OG Kush number 18 cut from Swerve over at LAC Connection, and he tossed it, I believe, on the on a Blue Dream that he had, and he came up with a with this one, and it's still one of my favorite smokes. It's the number one still requested over the last 5 years. Now, behind me, I have close to 20 or 24 strains, and who knows how many I've gone through since I've been at this, this facility here. But it still is. It's the number one. I mean, between this, the Primal Punch, I have a real, I have the real Hell's OG, like I was telling you before, from Swerve, that I actually, that I still have. And, but let me think. Primal is definitely, I got like 5 right now that I love, but the Blueberry Fuel's it has always been in the mix. It's got a, if you get anxiety from smoking, you don't want to smoke this one because it'll give you a lot of energy. It's got a kick in the back end of it. It definitely has a little nice little come down on it. Real mellow, but I'll get that 10 or 15 minute little rush in the beginning, and yeah, the Primal Punch is definitely. I just took some Primal. My last, I have a perpetual at this place too, just like you, Eagles, and I let one of the primals go a little bit longer than I usually let it go, just because a couple of people, I'm going to see if they're cancer patients, they can't sleep. I'm going to see if it'll knock them out. I let it actually go about 10 and a half weeks. I saw one Nana stop popping. I took it down today. So it came out pretty good. Some colors started to come out. My temps weren't getting as low as I usually can let them get in the summer. I let them go a little bit lower in the summer than I would in the winter, just because I want to keep an eye on the PM, obviously. So winter, I'm a little bit more cautious, not going below 73 at night, And I try to do the VPD during the day. I try. I'm not. This place here isn't dialed in. I can't do it. I'm always playing with the environment here. It's a real old mill I'm in. So, but I try to keep it around 85, 86 during the day, and I try to keep my humidity. I have the CO2 that helps, so I can run the higher temps as well, obviously, and then get that humidity up there a little bit more with that kick. So I can get up to about 65. Occasionally, if it's raining outside, I can maybe hit 70% humidity during the day. But that can be hit or miss. So answer to your question with the long answer, I'm smoking on the Blueberry Fuel. I haven't smoked all day, really. I took a couple of hits earlier. I just been procrastinating about getting work done, and with my daughter home, with school, and then with the holidays and everything lately, I haven't been here as much as I am, but as much as I should be. But I've also been procrastinating like crazy. But I pretty much live at this spot. I got a couple other flood and drains, small, 6Ks. I got a tier 2 license. That's a totally different subject,
Nice.
just for me personally, though, yeah, I have partners, obviously. You need deep pockets around here, just like anywhere. You need deep pockets to get anything done.
Right on.
Grease those wheels. But this is my favorite place. I've been here. This is, it's just kind of my baby. It was one of the first commercial facilities I ever got into, and it was about 10 or 12 years ago. I can't remember exactly. Right before my daughter was born, and she's 8, so it's got to be at least 2.5 years before she was born. We got in here, and then so I have a little thing for it. It's a real pain in the ass, I finally got a 3-ton for the main room over there, which is just a 5K. Runs on 240. I got everything on 240, but I have the way I got in here. If you want to hear the story, anybody want to even hear the story how I got in here?
Sure.
I have a friend of mine I grew up with, and he had to grow in his apartment back in 1994, 95, 96, something like that, and a small grow. Started out, and I mean, like, he must have had CFLs or something in there. I mean, nothing. It was his first grow, and he just loaded up a closet, and he did all right with it. I mean, for what he had for lights and everything. I mean, I remember seeing the product and thinking, all right. So 10 years now, I grew up with this kid, so I've known him my whole life. So about 10 years go by. We talked here and there, but we weren't hanging or anything like that. So he calls me up one day. Actually, I was in the hospital in 2010, dead on the table, the works. Spent almost a year in the hospital. Viral infection in my spinal fluid and all that. And so when I got out, I was, I was a different person, and I was like, I'm not going to let the time go by, no regrets, as they say. So I called him up. I hadn't talked to him in 10 years, and he's like, hey, guess what I'm doing? And I said, obviously, I'm like, yeah, what? And he's like, I'm doing what you've done, your whole life. He goes, and I've got a commercial spot, or, at least a commercial facility. And he goes, and how would you like to come in? I mean, that's the kind of friends we were, you know what I mean? We've always trusted each other, all that. So it wasn't as though we had to go play catch up again. It was as though we had never, not talked. So he had a partner originally here, I guess. And as partners go, usually bad falling out. So, but I'm thinking the whole time within those 10 years, he's been progressing. He's been, advancing his knowledge and doing the work. And I'm thinking, he's got a setup like this. He's got to know his shit. You know what I mean? So after he had the falling out with this guy, he brings me down. Finally, I said, all right, I really didn't want to get in, you know how partnerships can go. So I kind of didn't want to get in a partnership, and because I had my own thing going at the time. I didn't need to come down here. And so finally, I was managing a chain of hydro stores for this guy, and I was giving him a discount, so he was coming in and getting some equipment and stuff like that. So and he kept asking, like, dude, you got to come down. I got the spot. We had a bad falling out. You got to come down. I really like to get in there. And so finally, after like 2 years of him asking me every time we saw each other, I said, all right, I'll go down and at least see the place, So, excuse me. So he brings me down here, and he hasn't done anything since he had the bad falling out. And I guess the partner smashed the door down. They had a kind of like a flood and drain, but they had the reservoir with the controller, and it was pumping into, I believe it was 12 sites in here. The big 20-gallon bins from Walmart you can get, and he had them on risers off the floor. He had 2-inch pipe coming down to a manifold, split off to 2 zones, 6 and 6, and then he had obviously go down, and they would feed up from below, and the guy smashed everything. The manifolds that they made took I guess the 6 of the best out of the 12 plants or whatever, but he was still growing. So he had some plants here, and but he had they built the place by themselves. This place used to be empty. It was just open floor space. It's an old mill. All you did at the time was just take a tape measure and measure out what you wanted to, where you wanted to build your walls, and they just charge you for the square footage that you were going to build. So so they built everything themselves, but they never. Now the guy that was his partner was just a rip-off artist, and you know, like, you know, he invested 10 grand, my friend. I mean, 15 grand. The guy took off with like 7 grand of it. So they never built it right to begin with. The only thing they had done right was the electrical, but the only thing out of the electrical they left out was anything to cool. So they weren't cooling the place. So the day I come in here, the first day I come in here, he's got 4K going in this room that I'm sitting in right now. That's my bedroom, and it's 104 degrees in here, and all he has is a little, I don't know, 11,000. It's actually sitting right here still all this time, because I will pull it out occasionally if I need it, but I don't really care and veg too much. But anyway, it was like a portable AC unit. It was pumping out more heat than it was friggin', you know, extracting, for Christ's sakes. And it was 104. And so I'm asking him questions, and he's really not answering me. He's just more excited that I'm down here. And he picks up. I'm like, dude, where's your AC? I said, what, you got a split unit in the back or something? Because you know, I just couldn't see anything. I'm like, you know, how you cooling this place? He's like, oh no. He just shows me this little portable air conditioner, and then he picks up a. So you know, you got to remember, the whole time I'm thinking to myself, going, all right, he knows what he's doing. I mean, that's why he has me coming down here. This is why he has this place. And so he picks up a jug of water, a gallon sprayer, and he starts going around spraying. You know, lights are full blast, obviously. And he starts spraying them down with water, and I'm looking at him like, you know, listen, I'm not one to insult somebody. I'm not gonna criticize your work. You got your way of doing it. I got nothing to say about it except good work, man. If that's what you're gonna do, because you know how it is, especially when I worked at the stores. You know, you can suggest everything in the world, but you know, most of the time when people ask you a question, they already have the answer before you even start talking. So because they really don't want to really ask the question. You know, so anyway, so he's spraying these things 104, and I'm looking at him like, all right, he must know something I don't know. You know, like, and I asked him, I said, what the hell are you spraying water for on these things? You get your lights blasted. First of all, what are you just spraying water for anyway? You know, I probably asked him, you know, you just something stupid like, you know, is that a foliar spray? Or, you know, I mean, the lights were blasting, so I who knows, you know, this was a while ago. So, but I was confused. I was like, you know, what the hell is he doing? And so he convinces me to come down here. I had to do a midnight move. This was before it was legal in Massachusetts. I had to do the midnight move. So middle of the afternoon, I'm friggin' dragging 24 plants from my house down to the spot, you know, down in Southern Mass. And so I get everything in here, and you know, we come to an agreement and all that stuff. Well, you know, sure enough, it come to find out within the first month that he doesn't know anything. He hasn't kept up with anything. This guy that was his partner just convinced him, because they could get this space, to invest 15 G's, and you know, they thought they were just going to be in cannabis heaven. You know what I mean? Literally, that was their mindset. So after about 2 months, he's got MS too, my friend. So after about 2 months, he gets his third DUI, and his parents, his sister and brother, he's a rich kid. His father, actually, I don't know if you guys know Arthur Anderson, what Arthur Anderson is. It's the top 5 out of the big 5 accounting firms. And his father was one of the founding partners back in the 50s and 60s. So, you know, he's got money. He doesn't need to worry about it. But they said they were going to cut him off if he didn't stop doing what he was doing down here with me. He's, you know, they were just being realistic. Like, you can't do that. You got MS, you got this, you got that. We're not going to pay for the lawyer to get you off if you continue to do so. So after about 3 months, now he was supposed to be the money man. He was supposed to pay the bills. I was going to put all the, you know, I was going to do all the work. I didn't care. You just make sure those bills are paid, and buy anything I need for equipment. That was right off the top. I said, you know, we got to fix this place. So he just came in one day after, I don't know, we were here about 4 months. He just goes, I'm out. And I'm like, what? Right in the middle of the month. We hadn't even gotten our first crop in yet. You know, he thought in the beginning, you know, as we were getting things going, we kind of finished off the plants I brought down here from the midnight move in flower. I didn't care about, you know what I mean? They were in DWC buckets. I was just coming down here whenever I could because I was moving at the same time too, obviously, because I was in my house, you know, and so I had to move to another place at the time. So I didn't even care. I was just coming down here whenever I could, every 3-4 days. Some of the buckets would be bone dry. They were just in 5-gallon, regular 5-gallon black buckets, and you know, they'd be bone dry. I just top them off with regular water. I didn't care. You know, I had other things I had to worry about. So in the meantime, we got spider mites because I wasn't down here every 3-4 days. I was getting down here. And every day I couldn't get down here. I was having him come down here at the time. So I got mites right off the rip. So I'm dealing with the mites. I finally got control of the mites, get them out of here. And then so he thought
Did you get a hold of
yeah,
them?
yeah. What's that? What I use? Yeah,
What'd you use to get a hold of them?
I just used Asmax. I just blast them with Asmax. I was probably hitting them. I was probably filling that. I got a 1 gallon. I got a 5-gallon backpack sprayer. I got a fogger, but this place is kind of too small to use the fogger. But I use a 1 gallon. That's my go-to. And I put I'd overfill it a little bit, so it's probably about 1.25 gallons, 1.5 gallons, 1.3, whatever. And I throw 60 mils of friggin' Asmax in it and blast them, you know. And I didn't even care. The product in the end, like I said, I couldn't even use it. So you know, I don't even know at the time what I was thinking. I just remembered, like, I had to move. I just wanted to keep my veg plants and my clones going is all I really cared about. So we had 2 lights going in here to finish off those little shit plants. And then I had a couple of T5s in the other room. That's my main room down here now. And the bill was coming up to about $1,000 a month. You know what I mean? So as soon as I fired everything up, though, and we started getting a $2,500 bill every month, he was in shock. And I looked at him going, well, what did you think was going to happen once we had all the bells and whistles going? I said, you know, it's not cheap, you know, especially being in a industrial commercial zone building. You know, your electrical is going to be a little bit more expensive. So, but either way, so halfway through the month, he just kind of, 4 months in, he just kind of said, see you later. And we hadn't even pulled the first crop down yet. So thankfully I had some friends that helped bail me out. And it's the guy who I actually have the tier 2 with now. And that's how I came to get the spot. He just kind of bailed on me. So I ended up getting the spot. After that, though, the big problem was now I stayed in DWC down here. I had so many friggin' air pumps going because I didn't have a research system. I took his system apart because it was crap anyway. He went to the dump and got old couch cushions and made mojito out of the couch cushions. You know that stuff is. It's basically, that's all it is anyway, is couch cushions cut up into chunks. But he went to the dump, so they had aphids in them, root aphids. So next thing I know, because I wasn't down here, especially that first couple of weeks, actually almost a month, I thought I was getting fungus gnats. Every time I came down here, I thought they were fungus gnats, and I really wasn't looking at them too closely. And then once I got them on the scope, I said, oh shit, man. Because I had never had root aphids either. So I really didn't know what I was looking for. But when I saw those exhaust pipes on the tail end of those fucking bugs, man, I knew what I had. And I had them so bad. I mean, I had them, talk about an infestation. I had to chop everything down and just start from scratch. And that's what I did. I got a couple clones from a friend of mine that's dependable, who's actually got a brick and mortar store. He's just about to get open. Who knows now with the Corona thing going on, but he's been working on getting his store open for the last 3 years. He's got all the licensing. He's just waiting for the last minute from the state. But like I said, who knows now? But they are building. They are in the process of building finally. So, but that's how I got into this.
Pedro yesterday with a fucking burning in his mask saying, I'm fucking done with this shit. Who's with me? I kind of felt compelled. I feel the same way, man. This fucking coronavirus, it's just kicking everything in the ass. It fucking squishes.
Yeah.
It just needs to be over. I think a lot of it's propaganda they're pushing to. What's up, Abolish Farms? Pop it in there. I didn't mean to cut you off, Charlie.
Oh, no worries, man. I know I can.
Injected on that Corona shit. And it's just, man, it's just the events and everything. It's heartbreaking that the gent is putting on the account. What's up, Smiley's Gardens? What you chiefing on over there? All quiet, like just hanging in, fucking patiently smoking their joint. What are you smoking on over there?
Oh shit, man! I just had some Sweet Thing by Archive. It's a new one I got rocking, but just smoke my own. That's all. That and
Me too.
yeah, raspberry. That's what I was gonna ask Charlie. He said he had 22 different strains and 5 are his favorite, and I was gonna ask why he has so many then. Just rocking.
Because I have so many patients. This is kind of where I keep. I'll do a lot of sifting. I'll crack my beans here, sift through, 30 beans. Sometimes I'll do either 6 strains, 5 beans each, or I'll do 5 strains, 6 beans. When it came to med grower, I crack, just a pack with him, but I do at least 5 strains at a time cracking them. But it's because I have so many patients and I have so much variety. I need the variety in order to compete in the Boston area. I need the variety, and I have. So that's the main reason. I mean, the bottom line is like I need the variety in order to compete. So.
Yep, same thing.
I'm gonna be getting rid of a few of them soon. I'm gonna start. That's what the 420. I think I'm gonna crack probably another 5 or 6 strains. Do a little more sifting right before the heat comes.
I find with the variety, if you got 5 winners and then you're putting other ones in line to grow them out, and then you got your variety, right? But
yeah, but
5 of them don't sell good, and 5 of them do, and then you got this variety of 5 that you're sitting on. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm like, I don't know, man. What's really rocking? Let's go to that one.
But with the patients, it can change every week. I mean, there's so much disparity. Like, I've got a patient that likes the MTG genetic ting because it's a sativa leaning citrus, but they'll also fall in love with the Zookies. I have a patient that dug the Rosetta Stone for a month straight and then found out about my good cut of Shiraz, and it's like, I smoke this and I'm making music again. So last year 36 strains, I cut that down to 16, and I've popped another 12 more, and I picked up the Citral Glue, the Gorilla Glue from Med Grower, Mimosa from Med Grower. I've got the new Primal. So I'm basically back to 32 strains. I mean, there's so much diversity within having so many strains that you can always find something that keeps the patient kind of wowed. And a lot of times they're in a mix. Sometimes you pull out a jar. All my stuff right now that I'm still selling, 6-7 months cure on it, and even that is like, I had this and I help, the patients help write the notes, and then at the end of the year, I look at the analytics, I look at the notes, I look at the data points, and I pick what stays and what goes. But by the end of the year, something that tasted like tastes like something else, and as that cure continues. So, but it's nice to have the option. It's really nice to have a big spread. I look through and I'm like, okay, well, I don't have enough, I don't have enough gas. So GMO crossed with strawberry banana from where Red Scar Genetic is another seed that I'm running right now. And Grease Monkey, of course, So, I just try to fill the voids in places. Like I know citrus is trying to make a comeback, so I was able to get the Citral Glue off Sequence. So I'm like, okay, this is good. So I'm trying to fill in the little spots where I can. So I have something, I've got Loki Grows and a lot of them ice cream sundae, because I don't have, like a wedding cake or anything like that. I've got the vampire mints, so I've got like the garlic breast cross now. So I'm trying to just fill in the holes and see how the patients respond. But yeah, like every week to 2 weeks, their needs could change.
Mr. Nutrients, can I pause you for a sec?
Yeah.
Just 1 sec. Would I be a terrible host if I listen along and trim? Would you guys be like, oh, what a dick, if I'm like trimming along and listening with an open mic?
No, no, I don't.
The panel nutrients. I'm listening. I just if I can work and listen at the same time, I'd be more than happy.
Yeah.
It's not,
I'm gonna start cloning right after this. So.
No, and that's kind of the way I just look at it. Like,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many patients that I need the variety. I also have some plants that I only run into extract, or my friend who processes my stuff, he'll do a lot of different hashes, from temple balls to dry sift to shatter. And I don't smoke any of this stuff myself. I'm a flower guy pretty much, even though I love a good hash. Extracts are just kind of a pain in the butt, but yeah, I mean, I have, it's just in high demand. I can't produce enough of it. It's, that's the other thing too, is, you give somebody 10 or 15 lbs of this, and a week later he doesn't want the same thing. He's going to want something different, because they don't want to smoke the same thing for a year. They really want to switch it up, and they'll go to the store. If something has hype, they'll go to the store and get it now. They won't come to me. So I got to have it. That's where the competition is. That's what I'm dealing with anyway. I know everybody's different, but
yeah. And the way I kind of handle it too is I'm usually a year behind everybody else. So when everybody had the primal, I was a year behind.
Cheers, bro.
When everybody had, when everybody had, dark plasma, I was a year behind. But let everybody else hype it up, and then I'll continue to carry it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it works. It works well. All the ocean grown that I've carried have been phenomenal phenos. The Swashbuckler right now is really good. The Primal Punch, of course, the dark plasma, and even Dionysus. I've got a Dionysus I've been carrying for 8 months, and it's got a mango terp to it. It's ridiculous. It's heavy indica too.
Yeah, Nerd gave that to me too. I'm a tester for them.
And of course, Eagle's got that Pine Valley that I've been trying to get off of XMOG, and I'm really into that, because I've got nothing pine, nothing. So I need something to fill that void too. So
I got a Highland like that for a while.
I don't know. If you're looking for like some, the Pine Valleys was good. It was it's a piney on like it's on the stick, like right now it'd be like a piney fuel. But as it cures, it's more like tastes like a maple syrup when.
Oh, does it?
Tastes like maple syrup when you're smoking.
Yeah.
Kinda,
I had a pheno, a fader
how
actual.
It changes there. It's good.
Yeah, same thing. I had a pheno of what did I say? Fader actual go breakfast maple syrup kind of flavor on me after the cure. Good smoke too, but usually ocean grown stuff is all banana, melon, mango, back of the throat kind of complex. I'd say the most complex genetic still. Next, the Primal Punch is incredibly complex, the Lost Leaf pheno. But honestly, the Rosetta Stone from Brothers Grimm, the couple of the phenos I pulled out of that, my keeper pheno, I mean, you get that rosé, and you get these complex fruits and stuff in it, and the smoke is incredible. It's a hybrid, so it won't bring you too high either way, but it's one of those that just gets everybody going, gets everybody hyped, and it grew really well. The great thing about 2019 is that most of these phenos ended up in the 6K, which I have another 6K HPS tent city down here with 5 more tents. So kind of like the Eagle setup right there I've got back here. Then I've got the LED tents, and then I got the 12K and the other 6K, and then technically the Studio 3K. But the beauty is that I ran a lot of these phenos under different lights. So I got a lot, different expression out of like Floraflex and well, I was doing a nutrient shootout. So I was doing things like Emerald Harvest. Let's see, what did I do? Emerald Harvest.
What do you think of the Emerald Harvest line?
I've ran it twice in a I ran it twice in a six-way shootout, and at best it came in fourth. They came in behind, Nectar for the Gods, New Millennium Nutrients were 1 and 2. I can't even remember all the ones that I ran.
That's the guy that used to be partners with the advanced guy, right? Isn't that the guy that used to be Emerald used to be the guy that was the partner with the advanced dude, right? Yeah. I remember.
The dude with the mustache, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, he was a big advanced nutrients guy, and I don't know. I'm not overly impressed. I did Green Planet nutrients again this time with their Horizon because I didn't really have anything good to add to it for an additive, and it helped, but it still was just nothing but just vegetative growth everywhere. So not really a big fan of the Green Planet. That was a 3-part though. Let's see, what was it? One of my first shootouts was Mills, Emerald Harvest, Hurricane Hydroponics. I've done a lot, so it gets kind of confusing. I can't remember all the ones, but Nectar for the Gods wasn't supposed to be Nectar for the Gods. The 2019 shootout was on the back row, on the back 2 trays was Blue Planet Nutrients and Remo, and then the first shootout was supposed to be Blue Planet, but I couldn't get it because of the flooding and the hurricanes and stuff in 2018. I couldn't get Blue Planet, so I said, fuck it, I'll try to run Nectar in a flood and drain. And everybody got Mammoth P, everybody got SLF 100, everybody got Photo Plus, and I would scrape the crud up from the tray, put it back onto the top plants, and I would, hand water also.
Water it in.
It was flood and drain. And the shit came out phenomenal. It was third on yield, but it was by far the best quality over all of them, except for New Millennium. If you had to run a bottled New Millennium Nutrients was right behind it, and that was sub LBC cut. So that was the Thin Mint, the Candyland, the SFEOG, and the Bubba Kush. The sub LBC cuts when he came to Detroit. I got them all from him, and man, that was phenomenal. Nice, cool. Those Nectar for the Gods, tight nugs, better terpene expression, just incredible smoke. So
I remember watching the LBC when he first went out there and he was turning that garden around for those guys. Did you know the guys he was helping him?
Yeah.
About us, I'm trimming up. This is a beautiful loser I'm trimming up behind me. I was just wondering, I seen Ballas asking in chat there what I was trimming up. This beautiful loser. I'm sorry, go. I didn't mean to be rude and jump in. I was just answering.
No.
Guys. Go ahead.
I can't see chat. So, hey, chat. Thank you. I can't see chat because I'm on the Zoom, but I just want to say thank you for hanging out. My boring ass.
It's a crazy night.
Yeah, right. No, I appreciate you guys letting me fucking trim because I'm fucking I've been behind. Actually hanging out every night just kind of put me a little bit behind, so this helps. We got chalking and whatnot. So nutrient shootouts, have you heard about the 24-hour thing? I know you kind of raised your hand and said you'd be willing to pop in. What are your thoughts about what we're trying to do?
That's kind of why I'm here, to make sure this is going to work. I mean, this is my DSL line, and it is not fast. So if it's good enough for a stream, then I guess I'll be able to do the 24-hour, but I had to prove it first. So yeah, the 240 volt thing too. Like it's gonna be fun. My problem is kind of with yours with the power issue and the air conditioning is my barn. I can't add AC to it as of yet. I still have to get another buried line and dedicated 200 amp service, and probably have to where I have a nice garden. All my root balls and stuff from all the grows go behind the barn, so I've literally got like this much thick of like Pro Mix and cocoa behind the barn, and it grows incredible veggies and stuff. But probably gonna have to pour that into a slab and put a bunch of split AC units back there, because eventually I do want to close everything up and finally switch over to CO2 in that room. So, but yeah.
I was referring to the 24-hour marathon on 420 that we're doing here on the channel.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I'm down. We'll have to talk about a time, but we'll have to figure out a time.
Smiling.
What's up, man? I'm just getting stoned.
What's up, Smiley? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm tired. I'm about ready for bed. Just smoked my last one before bed.
What you doing today? Did you work in the garden? How was your day, brother?
It's good. I was just spent the last, I guess before I got on, but I was lollipopping and trimming it one row. It took me, I don't know, 3-4 hours, something like that. Crawling around's fun, but it's got to be done.
It's never fun crawling around, brother. You run that scrog. That's another thing I don't like about the scrog there is you got that crawling around. When it comes time to doing that underwork, it's not pretty, man. You got to get under there and work to clean up that undercarriage. It's never easy in them scrogs to do that cleaning, especially if you haven't trimmed them up as they grew up into that net, man. You can get a mess mid-flower under there trying to get up some of that bullshit. It could be work crawling through there. And,
Yeah,
it
is handy to be able to. It is handy to be able to switch them around. I don't know. I don't want to lose my eyes on a freaking bamboo either. So there's pluses and minuses either way. It's just the style that I've kind of migrated to, and I used to do the bamboo. Originally, I started out that idea as I was just going to kind of loop around like a tomato cage, so to speak, and I had no idea. I was starting out. And the way the room ends up and the way they veg, I can get a nice bush, and I can fit 4 nice sized plants fill in a scrog and have one light rock it out. So it's just how I migrate.
So at least you do the 4x4s where you can kind of walk around it. You got a more open room. You're not intense where you can at least get arm's reach in there and work a little bit, right?
Yeah, they're connected. So there's like 4 of them right in a row. So, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, I can get around them easy enough. It's just a little bit of crawling around. Keeps me flexible. Got to stretch and work out. It does burn your shoulders a little bit when you're getting in there, but so I don't even scrog them until I flip them to flower. So, that whole transition is kind of like, one long project, I guess, but you kind of trim them up to fit them in the scrog, and you kind of, it's kind of a thing, I guess. I don't know. It's just.
Have you ran tomato cages like Boom Farms here says he runs? I know I have, and I've always just, propped them up with. I like the steel stakes now, the coated plastic, steel cord. I like them. I'm glad they're so fucking expensive to slowly weed out that bamboo. It's hard to, weed out that bamboo for, 2-pack of steaks when you can get like 12 good, bamboo steaks and you're only paying $6 for the 2. It's like, God, I know I should be ditching this bamboo, but God damn it, I need 12. So I've been slowly trying to get rid of them, but it's a fucking transition. I haven't tried the tomato cages, and I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't tried the tomato cages. Have you ran them? Has anybody ran the tomato cages?
No. I did at one point early on.
A long time, but in the old 4K.
Oh. Yeah, but I think if anything, I would build like an individual scrog per like a number 15 pot or a number 10 pot. You could even, like, instead of the tomato cage, you could do the same thing with just putting your bamboo and then tying them, bracing them together.
Yeah, I've made my own fucking scrogs many a times. I fucking weaved one out. Oh, I need one here, need one there. Kind of working on one back there right now.
So
got
like,
out of control.
I'm not running the lower trellis, like the first trellis I put them into. I'm squishing them and bending them and putting them in, like it's a good 8 inches that plant, has to bend down to get into that scrog. So there's quite a bit of work of weaving in and out. and that's what I use as a way to train them or whatever. And then after, you know, the second or third week, they're going to start all those tops turn up, and then the top one I do run as a trellis then to support all those colas, but the bottom one I'm basically using to spread out the number of tops I'm going to have. So when I go in and I like lollipop or prune them, that's kind of what I'm doing. Some I remove leaves and try to get as many tops as I can going up. So.
Since you guys run the scrogs like that, and did either one of you guys, or
I do. I know what you're talking about, and we had talked about.
Yeah, what did she?
She was saying like a week and a half, 2 weeks in, after she did a little bit of de-leafing, she went in there and she was pretty much super cropping during by bud sites. She'd go in there and snap the stem a little bit along the whole way, and she said it dramatically increased bud size. So I'm interested to play with that tech a little bit. Anybody else's thoughts on that?
It'd be nice if you could rig up like 2 thumbtacks that you could just roll up the stem or something like that. But yeah, I mean, if it works, you can't fault it. It seems pretty labor intensive, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Well, so is the scrog itself. I mean, realistically, so is the scrog itself.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just snapping them and folding them over, it can go pretty quick, but you don't want to just break.
I think she wasn't even saying that. I think she was talking about as they were the scrog was already weaved. She was just going in there like before a bud site and kind of reaching in there and just kind of with her fingers like kind of kinking that stalk, you know, right before the bud site. So she wasn't going back in there necessarily, you know, kinking them and folding them over and tucking them. She was reworking the scrog right by what were going to be bud sites and just kind of, you know, just barely bending and snapping and creating a knuckle right there. Every time you create a knuckle, you've limited the backflow of nutrients. You're kind of pushing things further and further and further and not letting it allow to come back down. So you're kind of pushing, you know what I'm saying? So if you're making like, I can almost see that to be like a fucking ladder effect. I'm kind of really interested in fucking around with this. I mean, she really sparked my curiosity on this. I'm gonna give it a go. So
I don't think
one of the neat things of bringing. Pardon me, Smiling?
I was gonna say I don't think it really works that way though, where it blocks the nutrient from coming back down, but it does building that knuckle does increase the carbon density right there, and it increases the sugar availability, I believe. So where there's a higher content,
but it does limit. It doesn't completely block it up, but it does block a lot of the flow back down through the stem. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm no, I mean, I don't want to be talking too much shit here. Please correct. If I'm not, correct me here, Smiley, please.
No, I don't know for sure. I just, in my mind's eye, I don't think it flows up and down. I mean, there's certain ones that are mobile like that, but you know, like calcium is, for example, is not mobile, so it's not gonna flow up and down like that, so to speak. It's just my mind's eye on it, I guess. I had this discussion with a friend too, because he, so there's the thicker stems when you cut them, and his was really hollow, and he was like, dude, this thing's like really drinking a lot. And I'm like, what? But a hollow stem means that's a deficiency. Like it doesn't mean that it's really working well, you know, like you got something going on there. So like the mindset was that it's sucking it up from the soil, you know, but it's not necessarily how the plant is taking things up from the soil, to my understanding and what I've learned about it, I guess.
I don't know. I've always found strains that had them hollow strains to be like one of my better and stronger strains. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, personal experience. Boom Parm's saying here in chat, he's saying with each pop of the node, you get oxins working for you. So I mean that's a little bit of fucking something to go with it.
I do know it works, and I do know that when you get a knuckle like that, I mean, it does give you bigger yields. So I mean, if you're going to take the time to go through, it's just it is a time-consuming thing to go through and do. So,
in fact, you know, and like I guess I got a little something like right here. You know, I would say I wouldn't even be going in there. I'd just be like, you know, taking that and just like kind of just that. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of kinking it and bending it a little bit in between.
Turn on studio lights.
because you really don't want it to snap and like bust the skin out. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you can, if you get in there too rough with them, there's a technique to it. There's, you know, and it takes practice like anything. So if that's the technique you want to try, just try it on and see what it does.
Yeah, we've used.
I'm laughing at you, smiling, just because, you know, as far as, you know, everybody's got their technical place and everything. I'm not saying there's no right or wrong way or whatever. I'm just talking, yeah, I've done that as well right there. But I've been pretty brutal with these plants, man, over time.
Yeah, and it's one thing.
I've got buds in here. I have no problems in manipulating them things and cross and stress at any point. I'm a firm believer. And again, bro science, call it whatever the fuck you want. I call it years of experience of fucking growing weed. But stress to me has made nice, fat, juicy, trichome fucking buds every time I manipulate it. I might be setting that plant back a little bit and on my calendar days. You know what I'm saying? It's going to obviously have to recover from the damage I've done to it. But it's always been, you know, I've never seen a huge negative. I'm not talking about going in there snapping branches, but I'm not afraid to go in there and manipulate them plants at all, at any phase. You know, it's all a science project to me. You know, 15 years of growing, I'm still fucking working on shit. I like that. Like I said, this technique right here, never heard of it. Will I try it? Fuck yeah. Ask me in about fucking 2 months now, like how it worked out, because, you know, I'm going to implement it in the garden. You know what I'm saying? It interests me, so I'm going to fucking try it.
You must not be watching the Frugal Force because we talked about this on there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie. You know, I don't feel bad. I can honestly say they're not tuning into my channel 100%, and I do catch a Frugal Force occasionally. Even more so since I met Smiley Gardens and have him on, I decided to tune in. It was a bit more of a draw. So there, Smiley, I have been tuning in a little bit more. But, you know, there's only so many times in the day, and fair is fair. I understand that they got shit to do too, and they're not catching every episode of that.
I know, man.
It's
hard. You make it hard, man. You got 3-hour episodes every night. It's like, dude, you get behind.
5 hour.
Right? It's like trying to keep up with a TV series or something.
We're at 3 hours and 41 minutes right now on this in particular episode. I'm just getting primed up for this fucking marathon, Smile. You got me all pumped up for it.
You got to warm up like you're running the runners of a marathon. They do like 3 that week before it. Crazy.
That freeze up last night had me it's got me terrified. I got to make sure and try to fucking fix whatever the fuck went wrong last night, man. Zoom's been tripping out on me. Abala said that if you were watching last night, my shit went out of control, man. Somebody hacked into the Zoom. I thought, or I don't know if it's
I've seen it
the hardware or what's going on.
I've seen it.
You know what was really weird about that is Zoom fucking went crazy, and I've got this phone right here plugged in, and I have it mounted so I can like keep one eye on chat and fucking interact with the thumb. You know what I'm saying? A little behind the scenes shit here, but that shit went crazy, and this phone that was plugged in at 100% restarted at the same time. All that shit happened. It was weird. It was super weird. Yeah, something's going on. But what happened though, Al-Balas dropped out, and then he texted me in chat. He said, you know, I've never had this. He said, maybe somebody is fucking with your Zoom because I got kicked out and I couldn't access my internet for like 10 minutes after the fact, after I got through out of there. So I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm scared as fuck for this marathon here to clicks and whistles and shit that I'm going to be able to pull it off without a hitch.
You do
Well,
keep
actually,
up too.
I've got some questions for you, Eagle. So, who is your internet provider?
Frontier.
And do you know what your line speed is? Like, have you done like speakeasy.net/speed test or any other?
Oh,
like,
it's
speed
terrible.
test?
It's terrible.
What does it test
It's
out at,
like
though?
I'm only supposed to have like 3 megs, and it's fucking I tested out for like 4. Yeah, he just came out and gave me a new modem and everything. He's like, yeah, you're supposed to have this speed. It's fucking terrible. It's terrible. I need
Yeah.
a new internet provider terribly bad. So
Yeah,
that's part of it. But that doesn't.
I mean, do you know what
Go
the
ahead.
upstream was, though?
I don't.
Like,
It was
probably
low.
half a meg. Probably not even half a
It
meg.
was like 0.76, something like that.
That's a little better than me. Yeah, I'm basically Frontier, and I've got the same problem, about the same speed issues. So there's a few different tweaks that can be done to the computer to basically try to match the basic packet size to the line speed. It definitely does help a lot because it disallows small packets from sending a million packets and trying to get acknowledgement responses and just raising the latency. But yeah, there's a few tweaks I could probably remote in and help you with on that to get this running a lot smoother. So
Appreciate that, because I'm afraid that it's
Yeah.
gonna freeze up. That's kind of one of the reasons too. I decided to limit the number to 3 through that
Yeah.
day, kind of ease my system and my internet speed a little bit, and I kind of figured it would help smooth. That's kind of the idea. It's just going to be in groups of 3, and we're gonna stagger. Somebody, like, say you and Smiley be talking for a little while, and then I might, or say me and Smiley, and then you will come in midway, through the conversation. to
Yeah.
kind of brighten
Alternatively,
things up.
you might want to have somebody else host it, somebody on fiber, somebody else with a good line. You might want to have them host it. That way, you yourself are sending your data up, and it's not coming in and having to go out. So that might be another kind of better way that we can kind of guarantee it'll stay up. So we'll talk about that probably privately. So
Yeah, that's something you want to make sure it's got to stay up.
right.
Yeah, for sure. Worst comes to worst, I could call in a favor. He's got good internet. I could go hang out there for 24 hours. It'd just be a different change of scenery on my end, but it'd still work. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I'll
get it figured out.
I'm trying to get fiber ran out here, but it's about. I mean, I'm 20,000 feet to the slam in town. I had to beg and beg just to get this DSL line. So to get fiber, it's probably going to cost me around 10 grand. But honestly, it'll be worth it with all that I do. I'll be able to finally bring my servers home, and it'll be nice. But yeah, because this just doesn't really cut it. I mean, I guess it's working tonight, but I mean, I have websites that I host here that haven't seen daylight in years because there's just not enough bandwidth. So, and on the super cropping thing, I remember, I know I kind of mentioned this in chat a couple days ago, but how Subcool used to take the leaf blower to his plants like every night, and he would just blow his plants and just blow the shit out of them and really stress them out and stretch them out, and it's a form of super cropping, and I think it did work. I myself did a little bit more tucking in flower than I'm usually used to. Did a lot more tucking to the first trellis in veg, and in the past, when plants have become tall and unruly, and I need to even them out, I've taken the hedge trimmer to them and cut them right down. And my God, they love it. Especially in that picture I shared a little bit ago in that 6K under the metal halides. They absolutely love it. That was Nikki in the back of that picture, and she was just cleaning up some of the lowers about a week and a half after one of the cannabis cups in like 2017. And the plants were unruly. The Bubba Kush was much taller, and I literally fired up the steel hedge trimmer, you know, with like a 3-foot bar, and just chopped it, cleaned it up real quick, and we headed to the cannabis cup. And the plants love it. I mean, they love it. They were just little bushes and tons of nodes and just incredible. That was that sub LBC cut run, and that was an incredible run. So any form of super crop, I'll do a lot of crazy shit in veg. I won't do a lot of stuff in flower. I don't really like the idea of leaf strip. I don't understand how your leaves that are photosynthesizing are making glucose, and without that glucose, how are you feeding your buds? So I'm not big on leaf stripping.
That's easy. Yeah.
My room is a little different with all the cross lighting, so I can get away with leaving a lot of plant material, having taller plants, kind of like that, and getting that light penetration in there and getting large nugs all the way down. So it's a little different, you know, but yeah, I don't think leaf strips really do me any good, but definitely lollipopping. We did good lollipopping the last 2 six-way shootouts, and had good
Especially
results.
in veg here. I love being in a garden. Especially in veg here. You know, when I talk about leaf stripping here, I'm talking about, you know, as I look over this plant, you know, we see this one's, you know, smaller, right? Smaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
This big bitch here, gotta go. At this point, this is bigger than the rest, and this one's using up more energy than the rest. This one here, it's gotta go. It's not, you know, it's using more energy to maintain this big old leaf than I believe it's actually catching at that point. When I snap these off, these little ones will explode and make up within a day the little bit of damage I've taken off here. And I've let more light come in. So I really believe,
no,
you know,
I get
LED
that.
I will completely necessary.
I'll definitely do the lollipopping, that for sure. Like, you know, you get down there a foot below the lower trellis, you know, I'm still talking, I've got 3 foot worth of growth canopy that the light is getting at least 400 ppm all the way up to 1000 ppfd. So stripping, I just don't get it. Like, all these guys, they do it, they take off the bigger leaves, and then they got all these nice little ones that grow right back. Well, I'm like, okay, I thought the idea was to put the energy into the buds, and here you are growing more smaller leaves. And so I just don't.
Even at that. Okay, and then at flower, I do it again in certain areas.
I see the type of nugs that they produce, and they're those smaller, tighter. Yeah, I'm not really doing the uppers like.
Yeah, you can see.
Like,
you can see these are pretty small nugs behind me, brother. Small shit.
No, they're not. No, they're not small at all. I get that, and that's another beauty of HPS. When you got an HPS light, that's practically dumping 1600 ppf.
That came out of LED.
And 1000 at the main canopy. Oh, under LED? Well, still you're probably pushing 1000. Yeah, when you've got the canopy penetration, you can deal with a little bit more penetration, a little bit more deeper into the canopy with less leaves.
See, when I go in there and I de-leaf, everywhere there's a branch, and let me see.
I see a lot of people who strip their average nugs are those smaller bend.
When I go in and do my leaf strip, even at a bud area, that first week or so,
yeah, I'll take
but
out
I'm talking about where this branch meets this, where this meets the main stem, anywhere something like that, I got this big old, in this case, it's not huge. But I'm talking about in flower. I'm gonna go snap that off. Gone. You know why I did that? It's because this branch right here, I don't want to worry about this branch taking off and getting any bigger, because that leaf I just popped off right there is supplying energy for this branch to make this grow big. I don't give a shit if this gets any bigger in flower. I want all these along the way to put energy in them buds. I don't want that one right there or this one to go into this branch, making this branch any longer. Same thing. If there's one right next to a bud site, I'm going to leave that. But if there's another branch taken off this way, I'm going to pull that one off there. All through that. And that's my week 2 process in deletion. I won't touch that thing again unless there's a leaf blocking a bud site, then that one will have to go. And then I won't touch that thing again until, about week 8. A week before I go to harvest that thing, I'll go ahead and completely strip that thing. Every fan leaf off that thing. It not only speeds up my harvest time. This one was lazy because I've just been so busy doing this shit. I haven't had time to get in my tents like I should have. Yeah. But it speeds it up and it helps flatten them buds up some.
I know. And I see how it works under LED. I see a lot of growers get good benefits from it for sure. But I do feel like a lot of the leaf strip is just so people can have all those leaves pretty much gone at harvest.
Any buds.
They pretty much can just snip and go right into dry. So
I don't know. I do.
Yeah. You see them big old donkey dicks that the Primal Punch group back there?
Oh yeah.
Totally
just wait, dude.
And things were like.
I wish I could show some of the old photos. I had that Scarlet Queen under one of the 6K tents back here under HPS that literally was like 2.5 foot tall cola. It was like 4 inches wide all the way up. The thing was monstrous. It was so good I bought another pack. So.
I can throw bug pictures up all day too, brother. I've been doing this a long time. Ooh,
I know, right?
The fucking donkey dicks.
All over the place, man.
Anyway, I'm done with this pissing contest. So what's going on? Let's fucking talk let's talk some positive shit.
Hell yeah.
How's everybody doing? What's anybody
I'm actually gonna get ready.
What's that, sir?
I'm gonna bust out, man. I gotta get heading to bed. I'm sleepy. I'm gonna pass out otherwise.
Yeah, that's a good place to pull this. I appreciate you guys popping in. I got some work to do. Bunch of trimming, bunch of cleaning. You guys have a good night. Charlie, thank you for popping in. Nutrient Shootouts, thanks for popping in. Smiley, Idea Man, look forward to talking to you tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Everybody that's in chat, appreciate you guys for popping in. Still 24 of you guys cool watching tonight. Appreciate you guys. We'll be here tomorrow with sonsanddaughters.org. They'll be talking about their charity event. And yeah, tune in for that. And of course, the late sesh. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody, peace.